everybody. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey!
Hello!
What's up?
What's
Welcome
up?
to another exciting episode. This is, what are we at, 418?
418?
418.
Yes. Oh, we're getting there.
418.
Just 2 more weeks. It could be interesting.
What is wrong with you guys?
Still planning that Colorado special.
Oh, my Lord. Anyways, this is, okay, I'm sorry. I'm a little out of it today. I'm a little distracted, so I apologize if...
That's okay, Nick. We'll start talking about video games and everything will be quite dandy.
All right. Well, before we get started, I would like to congratulate our very own Nolan Hedstrom.
Yes.
Is officially off the market.
Oh, man.
As of
He
today.
is getting hitched.
Bernadette put a ring on it.
Bernadette put a ring on it. I will say this: we did what any self-respecting podcast would do immediately upon finding out this news, and we fired him promptly.
Yes.
We are looking for a Nolan replacement.
Yes, we are.
Right here. Right here.
He's
Still
retired.
looking. We're still looking for a Nolan. I'm just kidding.
Damn it.
He achieved his lifelong dream of getting married to somebody who makes a lot of money.
Why is your microphone so
A
far
whole lot
away?
of money.
Is it?
Yeah, it's pretty.
I feel like I project.
Okay, maybe you do. It just seems very far. Anyways,
Nolan's got himself a sugar mama.
Nolan has himself a sugar mama.
Let's not talk about
Anyway.
that.
What are we talking about?
Let's talk.
I was just trying to yell into the mic, so I didn't.
Maybe we should get a new intern. I always completely forget that the whole Nolan thing started as us calling him Nolan the intern
He
as a
really
joke.
hated that too.
Yeah, we let it ride for like a year or two or something. It was hilarious. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump right in. We have some stuff today to talk about, although I'm not really sure what we're talking about.
Well, I wrote a
Godzilla?
Well, we
Let's
could talk
open
about
with
that.
Godzilla.
You want to talk about Godzilla?
Yeah.
Anyone
Really?
see any good movies?
That's the only like new game.
Okay. Well,
Quote,
we
unquote.
can talk about Godzilla.
All right, is it really just called Godzilla?
It's called Godzilla.
Go, go, Godzilla.
It is a
Where are all the colorful subtitles?
I've been wanting to hear what Chris has to say, man, because this is now one of the worst reviewed games.
The only
It really
thing,
is.
The only
Really?
thing I really want to know about the game is, did they license the Blue Oyster Cult song?
They couldn't afford that.
Ah, really?
This is a low budget game. It really
Has
is.
there ever been a Godzilla project that had that song in it?
What Blue
Oh, I
Oyster
mean,
Cult song is this?
nothing I think can
Not
afford
even,
it.
not even
I mean,
like the
that's
2000 or
Blue Oyster
the...
Cult. I mean, that's one of their few good songs, but that's still expensive to do.
Dude, fuck you, Godzilla man.
What? Anyways, so you were looking forward to this.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this for some time. It is
Who developed this?
this is from Natsume Atari. They are a Japanese developer. They've only released a few games over here. They're mostly responsible for licensed games and a couple ports, like a Rurouni Kenshin game for PSP and a few other things.
They made a
This is
game.
this is one of their first really big titles, and they released it last year in
pun
December on the PS3. And
Wait, this is a PS3 game?
it originally was a PS3 game.
Original.
And then because the import sales were so strong, from America and Europe, Bandai Namco decided to port it to the US.
Didn't you import this?
Yes, I did.
So
I
why-
played
why
it
did-
Christmas Eve night.
So you were all excited about this game like it wasn't a game that you fucking played before.
Yeah. Like,
Wait, but you
well, no, the thing about this is that this is
It has
this is
diorama
more than
mode?
just this is more than just a port of the PS3 version.
Okay.
Okay, this has
I believe
a
it.
ton of new monsters. All of them you can actually play through the entire game with. You can do online multiplayer. There's
can you be like fly around as Mothra?
yes.
All right, here's my.
Does he move faster than Godzilla? Because this is
Was the
screwing.
PS3 version received better than this version then? 'Cause
No.
if you already played this, shouldn't you have seen this coming?
Well, no, I didn't expect the reviews to be good for this game at all, because
Okay.
it's a very niche title the way they designed it. It's addressing a very specific crowd. This game is built for like the authentic Godzilla experience, not so much the appeal to every market you possibly can with it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like that's such an excuse. I've played plenty of games that involve big monsters or robots or whatever. Like War of the Monsters is awesome. RAD is awesome. This didn't have to suck.
Absolutely didn't. No, and a lot of the critics think it does.
So what?
No, I'm saying it didn't have to suck just because they were going for something more authentic.
Well, I think
what I'm saying.
when I say authenticity, I'm not just saying like the design of the monsters and the audio and just the visuals. I'm talking about like, okay, so This is a game that it's a city destruction kaiju fighting game. It's meant to be very slow, and it has tank controls.
Oh,
Yeah, tank controls in 2015. It's not what you expect,
man.
but it's slow, and it adds to the authenticity of the monsters, in which they feel gigantic. They feel like lumbering giant beasts that you can't stop, and that's part of the experience.
Okay, so
Is Jet Jaguar in the game?
Jet Jaguar is in the game. Jet Jaguar is in the game.
man, I know nothing about Godzilla. I'm just now realizing.
There are actually
Where is something Totopoulos or whatever his name is?
Nick Totopoulos?
Nick
They don't have Zilla in
I
this.
my name is Nick. I forgot his first name was Nick.
It was Nick.
Instead, chose to remember Totopoulos as his last name.
I mean, it's just so Greek.
But no,
Was there a Puff Daddy song? Wait, no, they couldn't afford that. What am I talking
so yeah, this is Mechagodzilla. There's 22 monsters in the game. There's multiple variants of Godzilla and Mechagodzilla, and then you have like adult and larval Mothra and Batra. But there's a decent variety of what's to be found there.
Where did they go wrong?
Where did they get wrong?
That's kind of bland.
Well, I mean, it
not just
kind of
that.
is.
I can tell you where it
It's a
goes
game built around versus tank control. So tank versus tank. So you are very heavy. You are very slow. You really don't have that much in the way of defending yourself, and it's more offense focused than anything else.
You can't dodge. You can't block.
So
You can semi dodge and block. You got that temperature gauge you see in the lower left hand corner there. It's flashing yellow. That's your ability to use energy. So in Godzilla's case, his base energy attack is his atomic breath. His secondary is an atomic pulse. The idea is that it knocks out things around you, and it prevents the enemy from stun locking you. So you can force the enemy back to gain an advantage and not get hurt at the same time. But it has to charge up. So that's it right there.
Oh, that's pretty cool looking.
So it knocks it back.
I see little helicopters flying around.
There's little helicopters.
Do they
there's
do
little
anything, or is
tanks.
it just fodder for you to destroy?
Initially, for about half the game, they are fodder. But as you play through the game, at the bottom of the screen, you see a little meter. That's your disaster meter, and that goes up and down in how fast it rises, depending on the difficulty level you've chosen in the game. Which, by the way, I think is actually kind of cool narratively speaking, because they actually give a reason for why the difficulty goes up and down. It's branching stages, the way they do the campaign of the game. There's 25 stages.
25 stages.
Yeah, and there's you can do like about 11 of them, I think, through in a playthrough. But when you choose like an alternate difficulty for when you're switching stages, the prime minister of the country gets replaced and ousted, and the attitude of the prime minister determines the difficulty of the response in the disaster.
Whoa! You're telling me there are politics involved?
Just as far as explaining like the difficulty level just rising up and down.
Giant monster politics.
Now, when the disaster meter goes all the way up, it rises a level, and when it does that, the military response gets harder. And for the first 2 levels, it's okay. It's not that bad. Once it starts getting to like level 3 and 4, they start introducing mini bosses, and the military response will actually start affecting your health and stamina a lot.
But you can't dodge helicopters.
No, you can't, but you can certainly destroy them. But yeah, they don't do that much damage until later on in the game. Like when you get to level 4 or 5, they're going to start sapping your stamina. They're going to start hurting you if you're also being attacked by another monster.
Did you already finish this game?
I have played through it about 7, 8 times.
What the fuck?
So, no, okay, let me explain that, okay?
Why?
These levels are done in about 5, maybe 10 minutes, okay?
And there was 20 something of them?
And there's 25 of them,
They
and you go through
branch, though, so it's
and
like
they branch.
Star
So
Fox. Single playthrough.
it's kind of
Like,
if there's
how long?
like 25 of them and they're about 5 minutes apiece, you're talking about a game that maybe clocks in at 2 hours.
No, you're not. You don't do all 25 stages in a playthrough.
no, you don't.
Because they branch. You do about 10.
Okay, so
Maybe an hour?
The idea behind that, there's this meta game in the game in which you have to grow your monster. The idea is that the more destruction you do and the more fights you get into, it causes your monster to grow. So you start out, when you start the campaign, you start out as like a 50-meter Godzilla. The idea is that more destruction you do, Godzilla grows. By the end of the first stage, you may have grown like 3 or 4, maybe 5 meters. By the end of the game, if you've done everything correctly, you're well over 100 meters tall.
That's not that much
No, but
growth.
the thing
I thought
is-
you'd be rolling up the sun.
It's kind of Katamari-ish in that way.
Sort of. Like,
But-
can you? Is there even a visual representation of what 3 meters looks like?
Well, not so much the small ones, but as you play through the game, you start to notice just the difference. Because the environments and the enemies, except for the kaiju, don't scale. Okay?
Yeah.
But once you see a significant difference between a 50 meter and a 60, 70, 80 meter monster, and each time you grow, your offensive and defensive capabilities grow in strength as well.
So they're just tiny.
Yeah, they get
Rita
they
Repulsa's not doing
stay
her
the
job.
same. They stay the same
What?
size. They stay the same size, but you're causing more damage and you're navigating the environment a little bit easier.
Okay.
Because you can just smash more stuff easier.
So, yeah, the map.
One more question.
Okay.
He grows. Why? I feel like Godzilla would be more effective if his arms were longer. He's like scratching at these buildings with his stubby little arms.
He's like a T-Rex.
Yeah, it's like
Oh,
a
can
fucking.
you do the
What?
move where he like slides on his tail? Like
I have a very
cross?
important
Yes.
question.
You can.
Okay, that's the thing. So this game is built around replayability, replaying stuff constantly, and upgrading your monster. It's not just the height of the monster that's affected. It's also skill trees and stats, which you can upgrade through a different menu. It's called the evolution menu. You can upgrade every single monster in the game, and for every monster you defeat, you get like special parts, like cells or like parts from a monster, and you can use those to upgrade aspects of your monster, like your atomic breath will recharge faster, or you'll get more of those temperature gauges because you only start out with one, or you'll access new moves and different abilities.
Is this a fully leveled up Godzilla?
No, this is not a fully level up. This is about 2/3 of the way
I have a very
through.
important question for you, Chris Davis.
Yes.
First of all, okay, I have a couple very important questions.
Yes.
One, you enjoying this game?
As a Godzilla fan, yeah.
I want you to score it out of 10 right now.
I'm
Don't
reviewing the
do
game.
that.
You played through it
God.
7 times. Give me a
Well,
score.
I've played through more than that, I think.
Please
now that I
don't
think
ask
about
him
it.
to do that.
Well, I'm not going to do that because I'm going to be reviewing the game.
He's going to be
Oh.
reviewing the
So-
game, and he's not biased at all.
Just play-
Okay.
just
No,
play
there
a
is a
few more
level of
times.
bias. I will readily admit, because I'm a Godzilla fan, there's a fucking
Well,
bias
okay,
right here.
as a Godzilla fan, I want to ask you something kind of more just like in general Godzilla philosophy. Why are all of these Godzilla games, like in all these games, why do you always play as Godzilla?
You know,
Is he? I mean,
in
isn't
truth,
he
you
not?
don't.
Isn't he not like a? Is he not an antagonist really?
well, no.
Like-
from after the 54 film, the original film,
Right.
they started making him into a children's hero. They rebooted it in 84, made him an antagonist, but he was still interesting and people wanted to play as him. And that kind of kept through most of the series.
Isn't
But
that
he's not.
so
But he's
ironic,
not
though?
like a character. Like there's no like personality
He became one.
to explore there. Like he literally is just a monster.
He's
who
a
has,
metaphor.
Who has atomic.
I mean,
breath.
he is a
is a
metaphor,
metaphor.
for
Thank you,
the
Brett.
destruction of Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
right.
But
And as a metaphor, he is essentially a walking atomic bomb. Like that's
Yeah.
still not a character.
How can young
Like-
Japanese children be?
Like who's identifying with Godzilla?
How could the atomic
Like,
bomb become a hero of young Japanese children?
I just mean
that seems so
like,
fucked.
it's the
all,
way they
all I'm
film
saying
things
is
and-
when I think of Godzilla, like I put it in the same box as like Jaws. And I think
Yeah.
the Jaws games suck because they're coming at it from a point of view of like
Hey, Brad
the
Pitt
only
endorses
thing
it.
to Jaws is the shark, so obviously you have to play as the shark. But in the story of Jaws, that was the threat. That was the main conflict, was the shark. Isn't it more interesting to be the humans trying to deal with that?
No, I absolutely agree with you on that. In fact, there have been several games in which you're not playing as Godzilla or a monster. You're actually playing as the military trying to respond to the monster threat.
Are those
So
games any good?
here's my follow-up question. How did you feel about the 2 recent Godzilla films? The one from
two-
'98 and the one that came out last year.
Well, first off,
Those aren't the two recent
those aren't the
ones.
2 recent ones.
There's been-
What?
There's been Japanese ones.
There's
Oh,
some
I'm
Japanese
not
ones.
talking about those Japanese ones.
That's the ones
Really?
that Godzilla fans care about, though.
Well, the '98 film, it's abysmal. But that's the thing. The thing about the '98 film is that as soon as that came out, Toho realized how bad a fucking mistake they did in giving the license to Sony to make this film, TriStar. So they bought the Zilla creature, and then in the 2004 film, they actually had Godzilla fight the Zilla monster and kicked its ass in like 10 seconds. It was hilarious.
Wait, so they took the monster from the 98 film and had him fight the real Godzilla?
Wait,
Yeah.
the monster
They
from
called
the
it-
98
They
film
called
is
it Zilla. They don't call it Godzilla.
See, I
really
didn't even
lazy.
know that.
Yeah.
Um,
But actually, the 2014 Godzilla, the one that came out last year, is actually in the game. In fact, if you
Well, it
play
looks
through
like Godzilla.
if you play through Go Ashore, which is the campaign here, if you get to stage 25 and you grow to 100 meters, there's this final after the credits stage in which you actually fight the 2014 Godzilla.
I love how
And he will wreck
I love
your
how I've
shit.
been branded a racist in chat for not counting the Japanese films as real films.
Is Matthew Broderick in this game?
No, he is not in it.
That I already asked.
so-
I asked
so
about
it's-
Nick Totopoulos.
As far as Nick's concerned, the Godzilla franchise includes the 98 Hollywood film and the 2014 Hollywood film. and
Never
that-
mind the
and that's it?
1954 original.
And that's
I
it.
literally could not tell you how very little I care about the Japanese films. That's just a personal taste thing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, that's fair.
No, he also counts. What the fuck was that movie called? The found footage. Monster movie? Cloverfield. That's the third Godzilla movie, right, Nick?
Sure.
That's the really
I
artsy
think-
one.
You know what's really weird?
What's that?
There's a rumor going around that there's eventually going to be a Pacific Rim Godzilla crossover film.
See, that would be cool.
Yeah, I mean
That would be neat.
I think
but
it-
I also
I think it'd
very
be
cared
interesting.
very little about Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim was cool.
Pacific Rim was a great movie.
It was
It was
like-
fun.
it was
was a-
entertaining.
fun.
It was a good movie. Don't go throwing around words like great.
just keep that great. Just go ahead and put that back in your pocket and use it for another time. All right.
As far as the gameplay mechanics, I mean, I've already talked about that. There is an online 3-way multiplayer mode.
How long will that be
3-way.
populated?
I don't know, but evidently it's still doing pretty good. And that you
Well,
get
the thing is,
connect-
Godzilla is a niche audience. That niche
Yeah.
audience will probably always
is
congregate to it.
Is the 3-player restriction like a Godzilla thing? Is it like there's never been a movie where there was 4 monsters fighting at once? Or,
Oh, no.
Or is that just like we can't get 4 people on the server?
Hey, Chris Davis.
At one point, there was a film called Destroy All Monsters, which was supposed to end the Godzilla franchise back in the late
Oh, that's
60s.
what so the game was named out. Isn't there?
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Gotcha.
At one point in that film, they had like 10 monsters on screen. So, I mean...
Oh my god. Hey,
that sounds
Chris
crazy.
Davis.
That sounds
In an effort to move on here, how many times is this footage looped? Tell me like 10.
It's just... it's only looped once. I only had so much time between when I got home and when I had to come over here to do this. So.
That's funny.
I mean, it's... If you just want to stomp around and bust up shit and just... If you're a Godzilla fan, this is a game for you.
All right, fair enough.
No, go play War of the Monsters. You can probably get it for like $1 on eBay.
Dude.
Or go watch the 1998 film. I highly recommend
Man,
it.
prices on kaiju games have gone up, man. I tell you, I went to, well, I mean, Game Over, you know, they'll hike a price, but I went over there and they had the, like, Godzilla Save the Earth from 2004. It was $40.
That's
40
probably
fucking
because
bucks.
I'm guessing it's rare.
No, it is not rare.
Well,
Godzilla
it was
is just
also
that good.
It was also Game Over too. So
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was
kind of
saying.
expensive.
Yeah, and Davide wants
the
his
Godzilla
money.
games were always kind of rare. I remember because I used to be a collector back in the day. And
You collected Godzilla games?
no, I collected
I'm
video
impressed
games.
with that.
I collected video games, and I would look for like good deals, and finding a Godzilla game for cheap was actually like a good find because they usually kind of went for a lot of money. Not a lot, but more than your typical crappy game.
All
I
right.
don't know. Again, this game is fun. Jet Jaguar is fun. Mecha King Ghidorah is fun. I don't know. If you're a Godzilla fan, you should check it out. So.
It's a.
Robot
Just-
Alchemic Drive.
Oh yeah, that game's that game's a
That
thing
game
too.
is rad.
I don't know about that game. And can you really
Yeah.
can you really call that like a giant monster game?
Well, I
Well,
mean,
it's a
you
giant
fight
robot
giant
game.
monsters.
It's a giant robot
and I
game.
mean, if we're
but-
being,
Wait. Suddenly you're talking about rad, and you suddenly use the term giant monsters instead of kaiju. Is it not? Has it not earned the right to
they
be called a
interdis-
kaiju game?
Are they interchangeable?
I don't know. I
aren't they?
didn't even know what kaiju was until last year. I think you
Let's
said it.
be
And I was
honest.
like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Let's be honest, though. Given the choice between a giant robot game and a giant monster game, giant robot game is the obvious answer. Robots are way cooler than monsters.
Robots fighting.
That's science.
monsters.
That is science. That
Please
is.
God,
I have
Come
yet
on.
to see a giant. Well, you know what? I don't
Hey, you know what I've been playing?
What have you been playing?
Oh
Brad?
God,
I've been
that's
playing.
our transition. Isn't
I've
it?
been playing. Oddly, I don't know why I was playing it.
What is oddly?
What's odd there?
Okay, I've been playing Resident Evil Revelations 2.
Again?
No, I've not finished it because
Oh.
I'm playing it with Malia, and we only have so much time. I mean, we don't get the
Oh, you played the raid mode.
yeah. Well, I also played a little bit of the co-op with Malia. We had one session.
I'm sorry, God Money's quote's pretty funny.
It's probably gonna take all year to actually get through that thing, but we're getting there. Well,
Do you want to almost have fun? I'm sorry, that's pretty good.
did we did get through like a really challenge. We did get through the really crappy part that everyone says is fucking horrible. It determines what ending you get, and everybody complained because if you don't do this really not obvious thing, you get a bad ending, which removes a chapter and a boss at the end.
I read through that on Wikipedia just once you did it,
Oh
and
my
I was
God.
like, that's terrible, man. That's
Okay.
fucking terrible.
Well, you're talking about in the campaign.
In the campaign, yeah. Well, we're not gonna talk about that though. What I will talk about is this raid mode because
Why are
I've been
these
playing
raid-
a bunch of it.
Why are these zombies in bubbles?
So because it's fucking raid mode.
bubble
So
zombies?
raid mode is
Yeah.
actually pretty cool. I remember when we played a little bit of it when this game first came out for new release Tuesday. And we were like, what the hell is this? There were like zombies that were like big or electrified. It was
You know,
just very
what-
strange.
You know what this reminds me of? Resistance 2 multiplayer.
What
Okay.
what character
co-op.
is this that we're looking at?
Okay, so this character is just a character.
Is she?
I don't even know.
a
I don't even know what her name
Nazi,
is.
or-
She looks like a flight attendant. I'm sorry.
Like
She
a
is
Nazi
kinda
flight
like
attendant.
Okay, so this is just.
I did not see that coming.
I don't actually know her name. I'll explain in a second because I'm about to finish this stage. You can actually play as a lot of different characters and level them up individually. They get skills and skill trees, and they have weapon. They're not skill trees, but they all have different like starting skills, and and when they unlock other skills is sort of determined based on the character that it is. They also have, they unlock weapon slots like at different rates. Like Barry starts with 3 weapon slots. Moira, who's the Moira. I don't fucking.
Moira.
Whose name sounds a lot like
Barry's
moist.
daughter, who's very anti-gun. She only starts with 1 gun slot. So you have to kind of level her up a bunch to get more weapon slots.
She only mostly doesn't use guns.
Well, it's part of the story. In the
Well, I
campaign,
mean,
actually.
do they have like base passive stats per character?
No, but stat.
I mean,
no, but their starting abilities very much determined by like skills and equipment and stuff. And I'm going to show you some of the stuff in the outside of the actual combat encounters, which is really cool, which is what makes this raid mode kind of addictive. First of all, you pick up kind of like randomized loot in these treasure chests in the actual levels, which are cool because it's random, and they're like new weapons, they're new attachments for your weapons, because all your weapons and they all have levels and stuff, and that's the crazy thing. So I'm about to switch characters here, by the way. I play as a certain character.
What the fuck? Why are you dancing around like a crazy person?
There's all kinds of crazy
I'm not certain to call
emotes
that dancing.
because you can play this online co-op now, which the campaign still doesn't have online co-op. But I play as this
nuts.
character because all her different costumes are different characters. Does that make any sense? So by me leveling up this character, I can play as 4 different characters.
Rachel's
that's
got that
that's the
jiggle
chick
going.
from.
Jesus Christ.
Like you could play as her, you could play as Lady Hunk. You could play
Lady Hunk.
Yeah, Lady Hunk is one of her skins. So I'm leveling her up just because I have 4 different skins that I can kind of change to on a whim. So you redeem these things you find in these levels, and they're like these attachment for your weapons that are kind of arcadey, like life leech, like freezing bullets that will have a chance to like freeze an enemy. Like I have this one upgrade for I put in a sniper rifle that I'm using that has the last bullet in the chamber does like 50% more damage. and I put that on a bolt action rifle that has a very small clip, so I actually get to that very frequently, and it does like insane damage, which is good on some of like the harder, crazier enemies that I come across in these challenge modes.
Hey, that one character, the blonde chick with the large breasts.
She's from Revelations 1.
I know she's from Revelations 1, but has anyone ever figured out why her hair will not move in front of her eyeball?
No one knows, Nick.
Is that Hannigan?
But that's not the
Resident Evil
point.
4?
So you find all these weapons. They all have their different levels, and you're constantly getting new weapons, and you can put attachments in weapons. There's a shop system where you can buy new weapons, new upgrades for weapons. You can combine upgrades to make more powerful upgrades. I have all these different weapons that I can equip, and you have different loadouts basically based on the character you're using. Each individual character levels up, and you go into these missions, and it can be pretty grindy at first, but it's very satisfying that doing a perfect run. There's all these different medals. You get a medal for completing the level. You get a medal for completing a level without using a healing item. You get a medal for completing a level under the required level requirement, because you can go back and play earlier levels, but if you're way high level, it's super easy. But you can actually temporarily turn your level down to kind of match its level, and you get a medal for doing that, and you also get a medal for like doing all of them in a single run. So it's pretty satisfying, going through a perfect run without dying, having to heal and all that, and killing all the enemies and whatnot. And it all feeds back into these systems where that's pretty addictive, and it makes you kind of want to keep playing. And there's a lot of different levels in this raid mode.
Are you saying you think this is probably the mode that kind of makes this game?
Well,
I don't know.
I actually think the co-op, the campaign, is actually a lot of fun as well. Like, I think Revelations 2 is a really good Resident Evil game.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Nick doesn't agree.
That was involuntary.
No, well, I mean, how much of it did you play?
Two episodes, or whatever you call them.
Well, you played 2 episodes. You also played them by yourself.
What does that mean?
Well, this game was designed as a
Sure. I
co-op experience,
mean,
and I think it's kind of lame when you play it by yourself.
Sure. You know what? I'll be honest. I think the game was fun. I'm not poo-pooing on it, the fun factor. It's
You want to know fun factor?
It's another example of Resident Evil that's completely lost its charm, in my opinion. But I think the gameplay is still fun.
There's a lot. So that's the thing. The gameplay in raid mode is really fucking fun. I have a skill equipped on my character that lets my emotes do damage. And I have a hip hop dance emote that never ends. She just pops and locks. Here we go.
Like as
and it'll kill slow walking zombies as they sort of walk into me. Watch.
What is happening?
What the hell?
What is happening?
Wait. You'll see me do it in a second. Like, I can do the robot and hurt enemies.
I guess if you're popping locking with a knife.
Well, no, that was not it. Like, I mean, some of them work better than others.
It looks like you're taking damage there, bro.
I know.
You're not doing the robot well enough. What the fuck?
I'm telling you. And the thing is, you can even level up skills. You can spend skill points that you earn from leveling up your character in these missions, and you can level up, like, say, the skill that lets my emotes do damage, to make that even stronger. Like, you can make a build designed around, doing the robot or whatever. But I highly recommend the hip hop dance, just because it's an endless animation. Look at this. Look at those damage numbers. He just keeps walking into it.
Oh my
Did
God.
I see correctly earlier that based on the music you play, there can actually be stat boosts?
The music you play? I don't even know about that.
I could have sworn I saw something about that.
I mean, I don't even know about that.
That wouldn't surprise me after seeing something like after seeing these like killer dance moves.
There's some pretty crazy like stuff. Like, you'll get zombies that are like on fire, and then they explode when you shoot them. So you have to, not be close to them when you kill them, but also kind of using that offensively. Oh, like, here's one of them right here. Jesus Christ! Using them kind of offensively is strategic as well, because not all these missions are straightforward. Like, I had a mission where I had to like defend like this crystal in the very center of the stage, and waves were just kind of spawning. Waves of enemies were just kind of spawning in, and trying to kill the crystal as well as me, and it was very tough. But there's just something really addictive about this level, this mode, and you have and you know, all the systems that feeds back into it and feeds you back into the gameplay is all rather addictive, you know. Also, from what I understand, like, you get to like classic areas as well. From different Resident Evil games. It's not all just areas from Revelations 2. So there's actually been some pretty cool areas. I haven't seen anything like too classic, but I have a feeling by the time I get to later chapters, which there's a lot of content. Like I've only completed two chapters, which are 6 levels each, which have 3 different difficulties, which they do want you to play through the different difficulties, but there's like 9 chapters in total, so 9 times 6. It's a lot of different unique levels in this mode.
I saw that one of the levels was the casino room from Revelations 1.
Yeah, that was a really tough stage too, because it was very enclosed. Like one of the
have any levels from Resident Evil Dead Aim?
I don't know. But one of the coolest levels I did was in this very dense forest. It was this very, see, look, I put ice bullets in my shotgun, so it has a random chance of like freezing enemies. I had a what was it? Oh, there's this level in this very dense forest, and all these like slow moving zombies start spawning in, but it's dark and like there's super dense foliage, and you have no idea where they're coming from. You know they're out there, but they just like come out of a bush right next to you. It's actually really fucking cool. I can't stress enough how much fun I'm having. I'm worried that it's going to be a little grindy, and I might get kind of burnt out on just
little.
Well,
that's kind of the point. But,
but here's
it just sounds extremely grindy.
What do you mean?
Just damage numbers, having to replay levels over and over again on new difficulty levels.
But that's
having to unlock content.
So that's the problem.
It's worth pointing out that you were just talking about a game that you
played
through 7 times.
Yeah, it's a contradiction. Yeah.
No.
Brad's grinding levels. You're grinding games.
No, I mean, grinding in games is not like inherently a bad thing.
No,
I mean, Diablo 2 is
should,
one of the greatest games of all time, and that's super grindy. But here's where they screw up with the grindiness. So they have the 3 difficulties of all the different like chapters, which are 6 stages each, right? And they have a recommended level for each chapter. The frustrating part is I've completed 2 chapters. In the first stage of chapter 3 is like 3 levels higher, 4 levels higher than what I'm at now. In the first like stage of chapter 1 on hard is actually in my level range. So it wants me to start playing chapter 1 on hard before I start playing the chapter 3 levels. So you can't just go through all
on normal.
You can't go through all the new content on normal before you start replaying stuff on hard.
Frustrating.
That is frustrating, but it's not like you have to do a level over and over.
The thing
again.
is, if like
after you do one run, there's usually enough experience to where you just move on to the next one.
The thing is that wouldn't make, you know, that would actually make sense if like the difficulty is constantly ramping up as you go from chapter to chapter. If like if playing chapter 2 on hard is adequate preparation for chapter 3 on normal.
Well, it's not just that. It's not just that. But like, see these like shielded enemies. You got to get behind the shield, which is tricky. So you got to like knock them down and like try to get behind them,
or just run through it.
Well, yeah. I mean, it blocks bullets or whatever. But I think you can stab through it. Or it doesn't even block bullets. It just kind of reduces the damage. But what I'm saying is like the enemy layouts, like on when you're playing through the level on hard, it feels very different from playing on normal, because look, like the shit that they're throwing at you is fucking crazy, crazy difficult, and I don't even want to know what very hard's going to be like. So it's not like you're replaying the same thing over and over again. It's just the same map layout, if that makes any sense.
Are you playing this entirely by yourself, or are you playing it with Malia?
Well, no, she couldn't play this mode. I mean, this thing is relatively.
She was having a rough time in the campaign.
Oh yeah, she was doing mostly like the Moira stuff, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was just pointing with the flashlight and kind of letting Brad do whatever she
points.
wants.
The girl that points.
Which she prefers that because she can see the enemies through walls. She's a little nervous when she's Moira. But no, like I said, I was surprised by how much fun I'm having, and I think the reason I'm having such a good time is because I think the core mechanics. I feel like they finally gotten Resident Evil to a very like satisfying like gameplay place. You know, so say what you will about the pacing and the story and kind of where these games are going and like just the quality versus something like Resident Evil 4. Like they're fun to play. and this kind of like pushes the limit. I don't think it's as good as like Mercenaries, because I think those games are, the levels in those games are very well crafted. But this is a fun mode that kind of encourages, just replayability, and like it's only grind if you want to level up different characters. Yeah. But you don't have to. So yeah, that's raid mode. I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm really
bummed that I didn't feel the urge to continue playing this game. And I was looking forward to it for a while.
Again, I think the game sucks single player, but I've been playing it with another person, and it's really fun. And it might have to do with the fact that she's not, like an expert gamer, and that fits like the type of character that she's playing in the game.
Yeah.
But like just I'll be in a boss fight and I'm like, just keep shining your flashlight at his face and running, which is what Moira would do. And it makes narrative sense. So I'm enjoying the campaign a lot, and I'm enjoying this mode a lot.
How much of the campaign do you have left?
I have one more. I have a chapter, an episode and a half.
Okay.
Is there any interconnection between the campaign and the raid mode? Is there like any narrative payoff or anything like that?
Well, there's all kinds of like different skins and outfits and even maybe like skills and stuff that unlock after you beat the campaign or beat certain parts of the campaign.
So you can
I don't even know if I'd be able to play as Moira until you get to that part in the game where she finally like picks up a gun or whatever.
So you're saying that if you unlock something in raid mode, it's something you could potentially use in the campaign, or vice versa?
No, those are separate. Those are separate.
Okay.
But I'm just saying. I'll end with this because we need to stop talking about this. If this game had proper online co-op, I think way more people would be talking about it, because I think the reception of the campaign would have been better, which it was actually pretty solid. It's not like this is a poorly reviewed game, but I think a lot more people would have appreciated what this game had to offer. Yeah. And I have a feeling that critics probably didn't mess around with this raid mode too much. But this is a good Resident Evil.
The weird thing about Revelations 2 is that it is fun, it is solid, and you can see how it kind of evolved from where the series has gone. But like something about the game, just overall, to me feels kind of like B level.
It's probably because it's called Revelation. Well, Resident Evil 6 felt C level, so this feels like a step up.
This does feel like a step up from 6.
Well, I don't know. I think from a visual and a presentation perspective, it feels like B level. I think Resident Evil 6 looked visually and audio-wise more interesting. Sure. It's just that the delivery of how they did the campaign.
Maybe interesting isn't the best word. Maybe just visually better. Because I think Revelations 2 might be.
I seriously don't think this game got Resident Evil 6's budget. I think this was intended to be
this is a budget Resident Evil game.
Yeah.
I'm still of the frame of mind that Resident Evil in general needs to completely reboot at this point.
Sure. I'm just saying, don't let those reservations keep you from playing a really fun game.
Maybe I'll pick it back up before the end of the year.
Maybe find somebody to play it with.
It's the episodic nature for me that turned me off.
See if I can convince Emily to play it with me. I have a feeling that ain't happening.
The episodic nature. Well, I think they do that stuff well. There's like a previous.
That was what was getting me excited for it.
That's not my problem with it. My problem is that if I sit down to play a game, I want to play all the way through it. I don't want to wait for content. So that's why when I get a Telltale game, I wait until the whole season's out before I actually play it.
That's because you have no self-control, sir.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
None.
Hey, I'll say this. There's a lot of episodic stuff out right now. There's 2 Telltale seasons. There's Life is Strange. Out of all that stuff, I think this is the episodic game I'm enjoying most right now. So
okay.
So,
unexpected,
do y'all want to hear me talk about Dark Souls?
Yeah.
Sure. Well, we have Dark Souls.
Because you're actually playing it.
I am about 8 hours into Dark Souls. I picked this up because I finished Bloodborne, and they gave me the itch to play a Souls game, and Dark Souls 3 was announced, and now I'm kind of like, if I'm going to play 3, I got to play 1 and 2. That's just the way I am when I play games. I don't like to skip entries in a franchise anyways. So I went back and just, even though I got the Scholar of the First Sin on PS4, I was like, I got to go back first. I got to play Dark Souls 1 first. So I'm doing that.
Gotta get caught up on the story.
How's that DS
And of
fix
course-
working?
DS Fix is working wonderfully.
Oh, it's a godsend.
It really is. That game looked kind of like butt before I installed DS Fix.
Only way to play it on PC.
So this is, by the way, this is Chai.
This is the Asylum.
This is
Yeah,
Chai.
this is
Okay, this
Chai.
is Chai's. This is Chai's footage. I was having trouble recording footage of the game.
This is kind of framey.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
said he was having
his
some frame rate
PC
issues.
isn't as beefy as what we usually do.
I mean,
Everybody judge
mine
me.
is running great. But I just want to preface this by saying that this is not my character you're seeing on screen. But, anyways, so where am I? I have gotten to Undead Parish, and I got to the top of the bell tower, and I rang the first bell.
The first bell of awakening.
The first bell of awakening has been rung.
Do you
I thought it
know-
was going to take way longer to get to the first bell.
Do
I
you
have a
know why
feeling-
you're ringing these bells?
Not yet.
Not at all.
Are
It's
you
going to be another 20 hours before you even
Oh my
figure it
God.
out.
Don't. Chris Davis is having a meltdown because of the lore. Is that what's going on here?
Oh, the lore.
It just doesn't have
Oh, the
the...
lore.
I love this style.
You're
of lore.
right, Chris Davis. It doesn't have the storytelling prowess of, say, a Godzilla or something like that.
I think Godzilla has more
Shots are
storytelling.
fired. Shots are fired. Anyways,
I think Godzilla has a better story than this, but
Oh my
Oh
god.
my
You're
God.
the worst kind of human being. You know that?
I absolutely love this world. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
It's great. So,
Ask me questions.
okay.
I would probably be better
What-
at talking about this game if you just asked me
are
questions.
you
and
a
I answered
Sunbro
them.
yet?
What? No, he hasn't gotten far enough to get to the Sunbros. That takes a little while.
When are you going
Um,
to do Sin's Fortress?
Okay, ask me questions I know the answers
You
to.
have
folks.
to do. You have to ring both bells of awakening before you can get into Sen's Fortress because that ringing those
All right.
bells opens
Let me
Sen's.
tell you this.
times
I
have you
have
died?
reached a point. I have reached a point where I don't really know the best way to go because every way that I've gone has resulted in me running into a room that is filled with enemies that are way too strong for me, and I've gone every way that I've gone through the full. I ran past a mini boss to get into the woods because I couldn't beat that mini boss.
The injured demon thing.
Yeah, the one that's sitting inside that room right outside of the yeah. Couldn't even scratch him.
He's a prick.
Couldn't even scratch him. So I just ran right by him, went into the woods, got to the end of the woods, ended up in a giant area where there was all these sleeping knights or giants or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they woke up and then they chased me up the staircase and into a boss room with a giant moth that whooped my ass.
Oh, the moth actually on the bridge.
Yeah.
There's actually that is one of the few times that like you really should use.
A
They have an NPC summon that you can summon, and if you summon her, she's a spellcaster. She will do the fight for you.
Well, that's kind of. I didn't. I don't want to lie. I did kind of do that already with the bell, the gargoyles. I got down to the point where
You summon Solaire.
I killed the bell. I killed the first gargoyle before I realized, oh, there's a second one here. And I was so proud of myself, and I was like, oh fuck, and I just got obliterated. So having Solaire in the fight really helps. So tell me how that works. So these phantoms are not. These are just NPCs that you can summon.
And that was the same thing. Bloodborne had those. There were NPC phantoms in Bloodborne, weren't there?
No.
Weren't there? Oh, there was in 2. I'm sorry. Yeah, so they will put NPC like summons for most of the boss fights if you know where. Like some of them are kind of
Hidden.
out of the way, and like you have to kind of know where to look for them. But yeah, most of the
They're
most
more
of the
hidden
boss
in Dark
fights will
Souls
have-
1 than 2.
yeah, in 2 they're kind of just like right there outside the boss.
No,
door.
Bloodborne, there's 2 NPC summons you can do.
What?
Yeah.
What?
You can summon Father Gascoigne to fight the holy...
Really?
The cleric beast.
And you
you
can
can
summon
Alfred to
Yeah.
fight the Bloodstar
He's
beast.
right.
I had no idea.
Okay, yeah.
Well, thanks.
It's not
Nobody
as
told me
prevalent. It's not as prevalent as in the Dark Souls games, but there were a couple NPC summons in Bloodborne.
So yeah, so like I'm at this point where I've ran every which way. I even went back to Firelink Shrine and ran down the stairs, and that ended up in an even worse situation.
Well,
So-
you got when you rung the bell when you beat the gargoyles, you should have gotten a key, didn't you?
see.
I think you got a key.
The thing is, when I beat that gargoyle, the last gargoyle, I literally delivered the killing blow right as I died.
Yeah.
So I went back to the roof thinking I was gonna have to fight him again, and then I got there and I was like, "Oh, he's dead. I got the souls. I'm good." So I'm hoping I didn't like miss picking something up that I needed to pick up.
Well, no, because once you beat them, it should have just automatically like gone into.
Well,
your
I probably
inventory.
have it then.
What? Let me ask you this: what kind of
playing-
like build are you
Playing a
right
knight.
So you picked a knight as your
Picked a
starter.
knight. I picked the wrong gift.
Which gift?
I picked the ring.
Key, you want the key?
Yeah, I know. I should have gone for the master key. I went for the ring.
Jesus Christ.
I know. I'm so
No,
dumb.
I'm saying that the damage you did to that.
Oh yeah, that's the only way. That's the best way to beat that boss if you're a noob.
Yeah.
Do all the damage up front. Anyways, yeah, I got the damn ring, which I regret immediately. I should have gotten that master key.
It's okay.
But hey,
You'll
that's
be
how
fine.
you learn. That's how you learn.
It'll be fine. Yeah, the master key would have been nice for if you know about like some early game loot that the master key can get you into. That's nice, but I mean, I don't think it's gonna be a big deal for you.
So what is the okay? So this is a few questions that I've had. A few people in the forums have been helping me out answering questions, which I appreciate. If someone could post a link in chat to that forum,
Did you get your cling ring yet?
Did I get what?
Your cling ring?
Cling ring.
Cling ring.
Lets you have 75% health while you're dead.
No, I have not had that yet, but I look forward to finding that. So here's a question I have. Someone tell me how this Estus Flask thing is working, because I feel like every time I sit down at a bonfire, sometimes I have 5, sometimes I have 8, sometimes I have 10.
So they have different there are different like kinds of bonfires in the game. Some of them will refill you all the way back up to your the full capacity of the flask,
Which is 10.
which
You can increase that, actually.
yeah.
Well, the thing is, I normally had 5, and then all of a sudden, one time I had 6.
Did you?
And then the next time I had 10.
The one, yeah, it's
confusing.
It's a little different than it is in like Dark Souls 2. That one main bonfire. There's like 4 or 5 bonfires in the game that have fire keepers at them.
Yeah.
At Firelink Shrine, it's the girl in the little cave under the
Yeah.
bonfire.
I just found her yesterday.
Any of those will like refill your flask like all the way up to full, and then you'll find the little like checkpoint bonfires throughout the world, and those ones I think only refill like 5
I didn't
fills or something.
find the girl that refills it completely until I didn't even know she existed until yesterday.
Yeah,
even though
you have to take. Those characters also will be the ones who reinforce your flasks. So when you find oh god, I think it was the shards or the. What was the other thing? There's another item. One item increases the amount of actual refills you get, and then the other item increases the amount of health that they heal. But
this is all
it's a little
the find details that you need to hit up a message board to ask about.
Yeah, which I have a forum thread at the site.
Maybe via
So
guide.
if anyone has any tips, please feel free to leave them there.
Firekeeper Souls.
I do appreciate any and all tips. It's really helped me making a lot of decisions tonight. One thing I've noticed, why is it normal to start that game and then go for a really long time before you can ever really wear any armor that doesn't completely burden you?
Yeah, I mean,
Because I'm still rocking the
anything
same
that's-
armor from like practically the beginning
You
of the
gotta
game.
level up your
you're
stats.
also already wearing like your character's already wearing like a lot of heavy stuff.
I'm level 24 and I'm still wearing the chain link armor because I can't. Anything else I put on just puts me over the encumber limit.
Yeah.
Well, are you trying to fast roll?
Well, yeah.
Is that your problem?
Yeah.
Well, then that's why. I mean, if you want to wear heavier armor, you need to get used to a slower roll. I'm not saying do the completely slow roll. But
later you'll get like there's a ring called Havel's Ring or Havel's Ring that increases your equipment load by a lot, and that lets you wear heavier armor yet still be under that like fast roll threshold. But yeah, he's right. Early in the game, you have to make a choice between dexterity or like between your speed and your armor. You know,
Gotcha.
which usually
I'm learning that riposte.
the second slowest
riposte.
roll is not that bad.
if you can figure out like. If you can figure out the pacing of combat, you can figure out ripostes, and parries and that kind of stuff. It's usually better to go for lighter armor and have that quick agility.
And by the way, to people pointing this out in chat, I am already focusing a lot on endurance, strength, endurance, and dexterity. I think are the vitality are the 3 that I'm kind of focusing on.
Yeah,
I'll occasionally put a point into dexterity, but those are the main 3 that I'm working on.
Yeah.
It's probably I would imagine a pretty standard build for someone who's fairly new at the franchise.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
anyways,
the first time through, you're gonna kind of just have like a generic like sword and board kind of character, and then later on when you go back through, or maybe even later in the, well, you can't really respec in the game, but later on you might decide to do something different.
I can't speak to Demon Souls or in either of the Dark Souls games. I've only ever played Bloodborne, but I think this From Software, at least for Dark Souls 3, would really benefit from like an outside the game tutorial or training section where you can actually learn to play how you want to play.
They have tutorials.
Yeah, but you have to build your character
tutorials
beforehand.
Yeah. I mean, they tell you like basic mechanics and stuff. That the whole first area is about that.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. When you first start the game, you're walking through the town or through the cells or whatever, and they have like the sign, the notes written on the floor, kind of like players would leave you with there.
That is.
But there is so many more mechanics that it doesn't explain.
Yeah,
that's the thing about it.
It would be handy if there was like a section of the game where you could just go outside the campaign before you create a character to figure out how you can play this game and how you want to play this game.
The question, I mean, I think from a design perspective, it kind of comes down to what kind of experience do you want the players to have, which I think a lot of this game is about discovery. I mean, that's obviously something that's been said a lot. Like the mechanics in this game are about discovery just as much as the world is about discovery, because like the first time I figured out how to riposte, I taught myself how to do it, and I was kind of basing it off of how I learned in Bloodborne.
I'm glad you learned how to riposte.
I had to.
Because you don't have to riposte in this game.
Really?
Yeah.
In fact, until the final boss, where you pretty much have to riposte.
I also figured out there's some enemies you can't riposte. Or at least I think so, because there was like there's like that one of those big knights that wakes up in the forest. I was like, I'll just wait for him to get close to me and then I'll riposte him. And maybe I just fucked it up. He was so much bigger than I was, so maybe I just didn't time it right this time.
Your ability to riposte also depends on your shield and your stats and stuff like that.
I'm a tower shield kind of guy.
Yeah. But I mean, you feel like having played through Bloodborne,
dude, I feel
you're much more like equipped to handle this game.
Way more prepared than I was last time.
That's great.
Holy shit.
Are you enjoying shields? I love the shield mechanic in this game. That's what it first drew me to the original Demon Souls. Was that like most games just have a really crappy shield mechanic.
No, I love them shield mechanic. But honestly, I'm glad I played Bloodborne first where I didn't have shields, because now it's just kind of a cool additional mechanic instead of feeling like a mechanic that was taken from me.
Yeah, you've kind of gone backwards, and now like a shield feels even safer than it would have had you been weaned on shields.
Yeah, but I definitely like it. It feels very similar but very different at the same time, and I like it. And as you might have guessed, I love the universe. I love it. Like, just every corner I go through is kind of exciting.
Man, and like it
cool.
really only gets better.
Sweet.
Like these environments are all like pretty drab and like run down. Like you're gonna go to some just fucking crazy places that you probably didn't even know were in the game.
I'm gonna be plowing through this probably for a good while, and then my plan is to immediately jump from this into Scholar to the First Sin, because I picked that up on PS4. So I'm gonna try and get through both Souls games before 3 comes out. And I'm surprised. Like I told myself like Thursday, I think it was, when I started the game, I was just like. I'm going to go ahead and just start Dark Souls and just kind of make that my side thing for a while. And then on Sunday, I was like, I've played 9 hours of this game already.
These games are incredibly addictive.
This doesn't feel like my side thing anymore.
It's like when you're on a roll, you just have to keep going.
Yeah, dude. Oh, my God.
I think these games are even more addictive than Bloodborne was, because there's so much more, like, there
was one 2-hour loop where I think I spent the entire time doing this loop in Undead Burg, running around to the shortcut on the bridge with the dragon and then coming back down. Like...
Just farming souls.
Yeah. And I was just like, I've got to stop. It's midnight. Like, it's got to stop now.
They're great.
So, anyways, I'm enjoying it. I'm definitely enjoying it. I won't talk about this every single week, but if anything crazy happens, I'll bring it up.
Well, if you do bring it up, I'm not gonna bat an eye.
What was that? I see what you did there.
Was that a clever transition?
Yeah.
Fuck it, let's go with it.
Crispy played that Batgirl DLC.
The first official story installment of the DLC season pass for Batman Arkham Knight was Batgirl: A Matter of Family.
We don't have footage.
A Matter of Family, I think it was called. Yeah.
We do.
Oh, we do.
We do have footage.
Wonderful.
I brought my PlayStation 4 over.
Why does she have to be identified as a girl? Why can't she just be called Barbara? Bat Barbara.
Bad Barbara. That'd be a terrible identity.
Well, they've already done Batwoman.
They'd be like, Barbara. Yeah, they do already have a Batwoman.
You know, I don't know.
And she's
in the game too. Harley Quinn is even like, you strike me more as the Bat Lady. Like,
You know, honestly, like Batgirl is not really a character that I've ever really known much about or cared much
Batgirl.
about, honestly. But like that moment in the game when I discovered like the secret compartment that held the old Batgirl costume.
yeah,
I was like,
That was kinda cool.
"Oh, it was so cool.
That was kinda neat.
I don't know why. Like this particular game or this series in general makes some things that just didn't really
They-
appeal to me in the Batman universe seem so much cooler.
They do a good job of translating some of the concepts of like the Batman mythology into a way that makes sense to people that maybe don't have a familiarity with it, and you know they kind of fuck up in other areas too.
but they also throw in like little hints at other things that are going on. Like again, Cassandra Cain is mentioned in the game, which I think
Yeah.
is pretty cool.
yeah, when Cassandra Cain was the girl, she took over the Batgirl mantle years after Barbara stopped being Batgirl. So
Ah.
yeah, Cassandra Cain was another one. She was really cool too.
How's this DLC?
The DLC.
Wait, sorry. You have to kind of retire the Batgirl mantle, right? Because, like, Batman can be an old Batman. You can't have an old Batgirl, right?
Well, you have to pass it along to another girl,
That's
like
sexist.
another.
No, but it's because it's called Batgirl. You can't have an old lady be a Batgirl,
No, you can't.
right?
Well, it's the same reason why, like the Robins, none of the Robins ever stick with the Robin moniker into adulthood.
Yeah, but it's not like... I mean, it's not like his name is Teenage Robin. or
Robin
whatever.
Boy Wonder.
Oh, well, Boy Wonder, I guess, yeah.
So I mean, you can't be a boy wonder if you're
you could
like
be a man wonder.
if you're Dick Grayson, you're like 28 years old. You know,
Right.
that's kind of weird, right?
Sorry
I
for
was the
derailing.
boy wonder.
Okay, but anyway, the DLC. So the basic premise of it is a prequel to, well, I guess a prequel to.
Well, I would
Arkham
imagine
Knight.
it's a prequel.
Arkham Asylum.
Actually, yeah, it would be a prequel to the whole series, actually, because Barbara's still Batgirl. Basically, Joker has kidnapped Commissioner Gordon and taken him to this abandoned amusement park out on an oil rig called...
Wait, is it an amusement park on an oil rig?
yeah, they explain it. It's like this oil baron, his daughter was dying, so he built her an amusement park on one of his old rigs. But it never actually opened to the public. It was called Sea something.
That's weird.
Seaview Amusement Park. Or
if
something
you
like that.
if you pay attention, you look around Gotham in Arkham Knight, you can actually see it in the distance.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Which, yeah. So the whole DLC takes place on this like little carnival, which is on top of an oil rig. It's definitely an improvement over the Harley Quinn and Red Hood DLC packs, because those were
Minuscule, to
just
say the least.
laughably sparse. This has a little bit of meat on its bones, but not enough to justify the $10, and certainly not enough to make me feel very confident in my $40 purchase of the season pass. You know?
Oh god.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
I mean that's how
Can't
much the
believe
season
how
pass
much
What if
is.
it's just going to be a
$40.
lot of really small
If
DLCs?
this is an indication of like what the other story-based DLCs are going to be like, that's worrisome. You know?
Hey, you also get various colors for your Batmobile.
Yeah.
Well, they added the.
They're not just colors though; they're actually like full like different models.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
really?
that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the '89
next one.
Michael Keaton
Oh,
Batman.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like fucking
No,
skins.
it's not like paint jobs or anything. They're actually like replacing the
Oh,
models.
cool.
of the
Are they
Batmobiles.
like functionally different? I mean, can you go into hover mode with
I don't
Tim
think so.
Burton?
I think they all have the
Batman?
functionality of the
I think
original,
it's the same.
but-
Yeah, you know, I never buy season passes. I took a risk on Batman, and after playing this one, I'm not feeling so great about that. This DLC really is, I mean, it really is just them trying to like meet the bare minimum. I feel like they made a new map. It's not really an interesting, like, kind of diverse area. It's kind of small for what it is.
Yeah. Not a lot of gliding around the city. I would
Yeah,
imagine.
basically, when you get to the oil rig, you find out that a bunch of police have been kidnapped. So the whole DLC is you alternating between rescuing police officers and then defusing bombs. And once you finish all of that, you go after Joker and Harley Quinn, who have Jim Gordon. And you do a couple, like, these brawl challenges. You defeat them, and then the DLC's over.
Wow.
There isn't even really much in the way of side quests. There's basically 2 or 3 little like tiny side quests. 2 of those being Joker teeth and Harley Quinn Jack in the Boxes. You have to find an assortment of those throughout the map. And then there are these 3 or 4 like fighting puzzles. So they'll have like these fights set near these pieces of like carnival equipment, and you have to. So like one of them was like was a big like hammer, like a strength test hammer.
Yeah.
And you had to like fight these dudes in a way where you were like slamming them down on a pad to like make this hammer come down or something. Which yeah, they're kind of cool, but like definitely not enough to call this a story DLC is a little generous. Because there's not much story to it. It is just an essential setup of Joker has Jim Gordon, go rescue him. They don't take the opportunity to explore any of these characters in any way. So Barbara is just there like as Batgirl doing Batman stuff. They don't delve into anything that makes her a unique character, or makes her different from Batman, or makes her different from Robin. Tim Drake, Robin, is in the DLC, like, kind of as her backup. He's really only there just to spout out lines like, wait here, I'll take care of these guys. And then Batgirl goes, no, we'll take them down together. You know, and that happens, like, 3 or 4 times.
Okay, so there's like, combat scenarios where you're trading off with Robin.
So those bomb diffusion sequences I talked about they're all fights, and you're timed. So you'll start a brawl challenge with a bunch of henchmen. You've got a clock that starts at like a minute or 2 minutes. It goes down every time you do one of these. You have to beat all the henchmen and then defuse the bomb in the time given.
Yeah.
And during those sequences, you have Robin available for like the duo, like the team ups.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. I mean, I like that Robin controls differently than Batman and Batgirl, because Batgirl is essentially, her moveset is Batman's, just with fewer gadgets.
Robin has a shield.
Robin's got a shield and his staff and his zip kick instead of the Bat Claw.
I do like her character design.
Yeah, I mean
it
looks pretty good. I mean it's like kind of an Arkham take on the classic Batgirl costume. Yeah. The big like kind of difference between her and Batman though is the world of this DLC is set up to facilitate a lot more hacking. So there will be a lot more items in the environment that you can hack to confuse enemies. They even added new things where like you can hack a control box to turn out all the lights in a room, and then all of the so instead of like having to drop smoke pellets, all of the enemies will be blinded. You can sneak up on them, do takedowns. They'll have other elements in the environment too that you can hack to scare enemies, and when enemies are scared, that's kind of like her equivalent to the fear takedowns in the main game.
Yeah, where
the enemies are then vulnerable to like these instant takedowns, and you can do it to up to like 4 characters.
Yeah,
which is really cool. I liked it. But she can't build that up on her own like Batman can and just like deploy it. It has to be in a specific environment.
Yeah.
But there is a really cool Predator sequence that isn't in this video, but towards the end of it, you go into this, it's like a haunted ship, like, fun ride, and there's probably like 10 armed guys walking around this area, and it has all these different effects, like these big, like, skulls and like, octopus, and you can hack them, and they'll affect a wide area of enemies, and like put them in that like startled state, and you can go in and take them out that way. But that is really the only like new thing that happens in this DLC. There's not really much else going on here.
Question.
Yeah.
Okay, so this DLC is about Batgirl and Robin teaming up to take down the Joker at this amusement park.
Yes.
One of my absolute favorite things of Arkham Knight was this one sequence in the movie area in which you team up with Robin for a Predator sequence.
Oh, yeah.
Is that in here? Is there a dual team up Predator? No. Fuck.
No. I don't think so. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't think there was one.
That was so fun.
You're talking about in the spinning room?
No. He's talking about on the movie sets where you were doing the team up with Robin, where you could like call out takedowns.
That ended up looking really silly for me because like
It just is
Robin,
kinda,
like they were both just doing this like over, like they wouldn't stop.
It's kind of silly, but at the same time, it was so fun.
I think the AI was bugged because Robin would not stop swinging everywhere. He would not stay on a he would not stay perched anywhere for more than like 2 seconds.
No, that's the way it is. Like that's what he
That's
does.
fucking weird.
He moves in accordance to how you move.
Yeah.
So if you're moving around, he's moving around a lot. Yeah, I don't think there was a sequence like that here. Like Robin really only shows up for those brawl scenes. The only other thing that I really was like kind of like, oh, that's cool about this was it does have Harley Quinn, and for the first time they actually just put her in her original costume.
Really?
Like the Harley Quinn
How
suit.
did that look in the...
She looks.
It
kinda
actually
weird.
looks pretty cool in the in motion.
Man, I want to see
and
that.
and you do a
motion.
fight. You do
Like, are we talking like the original costume?
the original
from like,
black and red, like full domino suit, like with the
Wow.
Yeah, and you'll see. I think right here you can see her on a video camera wearing it. I mean, it's
why
really
did
tiny,
they?
but
Well, is there some kind of explanation as to why she didn't use that? Continue like going forward?
I don't know. They just did it in Arkham Asylum, and then I guess they decided every time that they just wanted to redesign her and put her in something,
Did they
kind of
really in Arkham
cheerleadery.
Asylum? I don't remember that.
Yeah, in Arkham Asylum, she was wearing that like really skimpy nurse uniform.
Yeah.
She's never
yeah.
been wearing her classic suit in
That's
any
what
of
I
these
thought,
games.
And that's also the look they're going for in Suicide Squad.
What?
No.
The movie. She's like dressed like a cheerleader.
Oh! I thought
Yeah.
you meant yeah. Okay, yeah. She's wearing like the t-shirt and the dyed hair and everything. Yeah, I really want to like it, and I was excited that they were focusing the first DLC on Batgirl. Like I like her as a character. When I was hearing, or when I started up the game and saw that it was about her like going into a carnival to rescue Jim Gordon from the Joker, I thought maybe they're gonna do something cool with the story. Maybe this is kind of like a radical retooling of like the Killing Joke that actually puts Barbara in a role of action. Like it's her rescuing her father from Joker this time, but.
They don't.
Nothing. There's just nothing. It is so bland. There's nothing going on.
How many pieces
here.
of DLC are we supposed to get for this game?
There's supposed to be 2 or 3 story DLCs and then a bunch of different skin packs and Batmobile packs and racetracks.
Look at how we're talking about this shit. Little pieces of DLC. It's so fucking lame.
They're better
I
than
don't care
fucking-
how good this is. I don't want a tiny little chunk of shit.
Yeah.
Remember when with the,
Tiny little chunk of
I
shit.
mean, like, compare it. What's better, this or Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare?
You
this or Undead Redemption? Undead Redemption.
Yeah, remember
Wait, you mean-
substantial.
Remember Undead Nightmare. Yes.
Remember substantial DLC.
That
Yeah,
was like
you
that
want
was
an
a
expansion.
complete retooling of the whole world
Remember
and like
Lost
the
in
basic
the
game
Damned?
mechanics of Red Dead. That was amazing.
No, you're asking
Yes,
for an
right.
expansion, and this is a season of content they want to go through the end of the year.
DLC is not
An
the same as
expansion
expansions.
takes a year. Okay? For like the scale
Well,
that you want.
No one wants this garbage. They buy it because we're brainwashed to buying it because we really like Batman, so I guess we should buy this shit too.
Yeah.
Just take the time, make a proper fucking expansion. Undead Nightmare was what, $20?
yeah.
No,
No, when it came out, it was 40.
This, I don't think so.
Undead Nightmare was
it
40
was
bucks.
it
at
was
release.
$40.
Oh, was it? But it
Trust
was
me, I bought
standalone?
that shit day one.
But it was like standalone. You could buy.
Yeah,
it?
you could buy. You
Okay.
didn't have to have Red Dead.
Yeah.
It was $40
Um,
at retail.
I think on a disc. I think
yeah,
I think
of
if you
course.
had the game and you download it, it was just
No, it was
20.
30 at download.
I mean,
That long.
I also am like generally wary of like
You're
season
wrong.
passes.
You're wrong. Sorry. The standalone disc came with the full game. That's why it was $40.
No, it did not.
Yeah, it did.
No, it did not.
Somebody in
I
chat
know
looked
I
this up
did
for
not.
us.
I paid $20. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, they have that. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I generally, like I said, am very wary of season pass DLC models. I just figured, it's Batman. If anything, I got to take the risk on this, and so far I'm not impressed at all. Like I don't even like any of the skins that they've put out for it. Like, I mean, some of them
it's hard
look
to
cool,
skin
but, like,
characters in this universe.
yeah, especially when a lot of those skins are based on like animations or comic books where you put it on and your character automatically looks like they don't belong in the game. You know.
Well, there's also the issue that when you make these skins and there is such a strong emphasis on the armor, like they'll do entire cinematic shots of Batman putting on the armor and all the pieces fitting into place and everything. I mean, when you have a skin, you really can't do that. You cut out that animation and you cut out just aspects of that presentation.
The point is that this is really disappointing. This was a huge missed opportunity for like a really good piece of DLC for a good Batgirl story, and it's nothing. It's just kind of a miscarriage.
We've almost spent as much time talking about it as you spent playing it.
Well, yeah. I played it for half an hour for this footage. That we looped one, so that's 15 minutes.
No, I'm saying just okay.
Well, no, but yeah, you're right. Like I sat down in one evening, finished it, and then was just like, "That's it." Like I was gonna play this all night. What do I do now?
Well, do you sometimes wish that you could just forget this ever happened?
Oh God!
No,
damn
Just
it.
erase this
Whoa.
DLC moment
Are
from
you
your memory?
transitioning?
He's transitioning.
So you don't care if I answer that question?
Well, you can answer it.
No. What? No. What? Just do your fucking transition. What are we talking about?
He wants me to talk about Amnesia the Dark Descent.
Okay.
But
Yes, Brad.
was gonna-
Sometimes I wish I had amnesia.
All right.
I was gonna just cut to break
Speaking
and then
of
tell us
which-
when he came back.
Oh.
But
my transition
Sometimes
was
I wish I could take a break.
Wait, that's not even a joke.
no, it's not. Anyways, do we have Amnesia footage? I couldn't.
Yes, we do.
I wasn't able to.
I
record any
recorded
footage.
some Amnesia footage the first 15 minutes of the game.
Oh, that's the best part. So I'm playing Amnesia the Dark Descent on the feed. Finally, I got my fucking broadcast working. I had a 3 hour seamless crash-free broadcast. It was wonderful. And I finally started playing this game. I don't need to talk about it very long.
Are you enjoying it?
Dude, fuck yeah, this game's great. I mean, I played A Machine for Pigs and liked it, and knowing full well that The Dark Descent is the better game. It's widely considered to be the better game, and I see why. I think Amnesia: A Machine for Pigs is very, it's simplistic in terms of like this game does so much shit that fucks with your head that I just don't think they really try to take that very far in A Machine for Pigs, which was kind of a weird choice. But like this game is like, I walk into a room and all of a sudden like the room is like moving and I'm like, I suddenly can't walk and I'm like shrinking and the room is getting big and I'm like, what is happening right now? And then all of a sudden, okay, I'm back to normal.
So
like that's fucking weird.
So you've never played this game?
No,
before.
I mean I played it like I played about maybe a fourth of it or a third of it or something like 3 or 4 years ago. I think on the feed too. But I'm specifically playing this because I like The Machine for Pigs a lot, and Soma is coming out in September, and I fully intend on playing that on the feed.
Where are you exactly right now?
I am just about to go. I think I just went into the machine room. Machine.
It's
I'm
hard
trying
to
to
say
get.
in this
I'm trying to get the or.
You did the part with the water already.
You did the
right?
water
Yes,
part.
I did the water part already.
That part.
And that is going to haunt me because I screamed like a little bitch several times, uncontrollably.
So you haven't been to the storage area?
Thanks, Chris Davis.
That's just.
Wait. Yes.
I'm just okay.
Yes, I've been into storage.
How do you remember what these areas are called?
They have signs
Because
above the
they're
doors.
very distinct.
They have,
Yeah,
and they
the
have.
storage area.
No, there's
It's
literally
like
a
the
sign.
water temple from Ocarina
Come on,
of Time.
let's not fancy it up. It's a box room.
There's literally a sign above the door that says storage, and I remember looking at it. So yes, I've been to the storage room.
Okay.
Nothing. It pales in comparison to the water room because.
Oh
there's-
no.
There is one thing. There's one thing that I hate the most. It is being chased, and being chased through a hall full of water by an invisible monster, and having to open doors and close them behind me while running for an extended period of time. I was about to have a heart attack, man. I was dying.
How long did you figure out? How long did it take you to figure out the thing you had to throw the meat in order to strike the monster?
I think someone in chat probably said it, and it gave me the idea. I mean, I probably would have done it eventually anyways. They answered that question for you, but it is cool. You can throw meat or corpses to
Body
distract
parts.
them. It's cool. I don't know. I love the game's atmosphere, and I've always, like, one thing I liked about Machine for Pigs so much was just it's the way it tells its story and how you're like reading these notes. You have these really awesome, well voiced like diary entries, and how you're kind of piecing together what's going on in the background based on.
I feel like reading diary entries in Machine for Pigs hogged too much of your time.
Oh my God.
Oh, my head. I'm having an aneurysm.
Can you hit it for me, please?
No, I'll be playing more of this game on Friday. I'll be playing the next 3 hours, and I'm very much looking forward to playing more of this game. But prepare yourself, because in September I'll be playing Soma, and this is kind of my prep
all of
for
us
it.
will be playing Soma.
It's funny. Like, I've been trying to get this working for weeks.
I won't be.
I've been trying to get this working for weeks on my feed. I'm sorry, I've been trying to get my broadcast to run for weeks, and I finally got it working. And like within 5 minutes, I was like, I really regret playing this. Like, I can't believe I volunteered to play this. What am I doing? And I know it's only going to get worse.
Why were you having such a hard? I mean, I threw this thing into windowed mode and it worked like instantly.
Wait, what do you
in
mean?
OBS or whatever.
No. Wait, this wasn't a problem with my game. You know that, right?
You were struggling getting Amnesia working in XSplit, right?
I've always had it working. It's my broadcasting software
I
would
know,
always
I know.
crash, and it was the encoder, 100%, because now it works just fine. I'm using the other encoder, so consider that problem solved for now. Yeah, I'll be playing more on Friday, starting at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, 4pp.tv. Check it out. And now we're going to take a break, because Brad has no more transitions left in him. We're going to come back. We have a few news topics. Nolan put together the news. So, but he's, by the way, Nolan is out.
You mean the community?
Sorry, community.
Community, yeah.
I'm distracted. Community segment. And by the way, for those of you wondering, Nolan will be out through the first week of August. So he will be back. He is out and about. He's on. I think he's going out of town.
He's on a quest.
He's on a quest.
Yeah.
He just got engaged, and now he's going out of town for like 2 weeks. So he'll be back eventually. So you'll have to make do without him for a while longer. But he will return. But don't go anywhere if you're watching us live. We'll be back, and we'll talk about some more video game related stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Woo!
I hope you guys brought news topics, because I know I didn't.
Yeah, and I was disappointed.
I have been so distracted. I don't even know what's happening in the news right now.
I brought a little one.
All right.
One.
Well then, let's go ahead and just. I know we all want to get right to the community, so 'cause we haven't done that in weeks. But let's go ahead and let's get those news topics out of the way. Crispy.
Wow.
Well, welcome back to the podcast.
You want to start? You want to start with me?
Oh yeah, welcome back to the show, Crispy.
Yeah.
What's your news topic this week?
Okay, so just this week, I think, or maybe in the last couple days, Naughty Dog and Mondo Music announced that they are releasing a full vinyl set of the Last of Us soundtrack. So
Who
Last
uses
of Us,
vinyl anymore?
Hipsters.
Some people.
hipsters, man.
People on that Portland.
And it
show.
looks fucking beautiful too. I've got a little picture of it right there. If
I
you guys
saw
wanna see
that.
it.
I immediately dismissed it because I was like, I don't.
It's a four disc collection. It's the entire soundtrack, including all the different music cues and songs from Left Behind as well.
Yep.
It's being released through Mondo Music tomorrow, the 22nd, and it's going to go for $75.
Do you have a
That's
record
expensive.
player?
Yes, I do, and I'm actually like seriously considering buying
For 4
this.
discs, though, I mean, that actually sounds like a reasonable price
And
for a limited release.
and considering that it's the Last of Us soundtrack, which is incredible.
But how are you going to put it on your iPod?
I'll listen to the
Was that a
vinyl
better
at
joke?
home, and I'll listen to the Last of Us
Do you have-
soundtrack on YouTube in my car.
Do you have a turntable?
Yeah,
Do you have a microphone?
we had. I have 2 turntables.
Do you listen to music often from it? Like, just have it playing?
I thought that was just like a general. Do you listen to music often?
From The Last of Us?
No, from your record player.
Oh, from the record player? I mean, yeah, every once in a while. It's kind of more like a thing on, like, Saturdays if we're cleaning the apartment, or, like, if we have a bunch of people over and we don't turn, like, you know, you don't want the TV on, but you want, like, some noise in the room. You put on the record player.
Dim the lights, light some candles.
You know, when we're doing serious drugs, we put some vinyl on.
Man, I feel like if I had... I don't listen to music outside of, like my phone or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like I would if I had something a little better than my computer speakers to listen to it from or something, you know?
And see, like, it's expensive. It's $75 for this collection. And I know, like, a lot of bands will put out, like, special edition records that are, you know, really pricey. And I would never think about buying anything like this, but The Last of Us soundtrack
is amazing.
I would.
I listen to it at least once or twice a week. It's on because they're both on Spotify.
And it's an incredible. My God! When I was in Michigan, I was driving around these like kind of suburban areas that were really, really fucking run down. Like some of these buildings kind of look like it was the apocalypse. And I was listening to the Last of Us soundtrack, and it was like
powerful.
It was haunting. Like it was incredible. I fucking love that soundtrack. I think I might buy this collection tomorrow. But we'll see. It's on Mondo Music if you're interested tomorrow.
Cool. Speaking of Last of Us, I thought it was pretty interesting that this is actually a story that came out a few weeks ago, but I've seen it be picked up a few other places recently, is that Naughty Dog came out and, you know, they were talking about Last of Us as a project, and they were all very, very surprised that The Last of Us didn't just completely bomb.
Yeah, they expected that.
Which kind of blows my mind.
Why would they think that?
I think they would think that because just how different a game it turned out to be from just like Uncharted or anything.
I know. I remember reading at one point that they weren't even sure. It wasn't until like a year before, or maybe less than a year before that project was released, that like the gameplay flow actually came together and was working. But for a long time during the development, like the gameplay just didn't work up to their standards.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I remember that, but it's also a heavily marketed first-party Sony game with zombies in it, more or less, which zombie games always are super successful for some fucking reason. So whoever really thought this thing was gonna bomb? Come on, really?
Well, they might not have foreseen how popular it was going to become.
I mean, it's full on become one of like, it's become iconic for that generation. I think it's it is up there with some of the most recognizable and most like commonly used, like
one of the great late generation games.
Yeah, I mean, its imagery is now everywhere in video game culture, and that's kind of crazy. Chris Davis.
Well, I have a news topic.
Okay, we'll see it. What is it?
Well, it's a pretty cool one. So KOTOR 2...
Oh, that's the only one I knew at the top of my head, and I was going to bring it up. Anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
Too bad. KOTOR 2 has just received a massive new update.
Didn't the game come out
10 years after it came out.
Oh, 10 years.
Did they finish it? Or?
Yeah. No. They've added a bunch of things.
They patched in an ending.
Yeah, that would be fucking nice. No, it's received this big update on Steam for some reason. Out of nowhere, they've added...
But this wasn't from the original developers, was it? Or was it?
I that's the thing. I haven't been able to figure that out.
I don't think it's Obsidian.
I think it is.
It was some kind of third-party company that did this, wasn't it?
If it was Obsidian, I'd be really surprised. But they announced that this new update of the game is adding 37 trophies or achievements. They're adding widescreen support built in, controller support for PS3, PS4, Xbox One. They're adding resolution support up to 5K.
Up to 5K. How does that make you feel, Chris Davis?
I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, if you can get the game running stable at 5K, I mean that's pretty cool.
5K. Oh my god.
Because why not? Yeah. But the really interesting thing to me is that they're adding Steam Workshop support, so you can add in mods, and they worked specifically with the content restoration mod creators to have that ready on launch day, so you can immediately launch that into what they say wasn't Obsidian.
They said it was
Aspire.
Victus says it was Aspire.
Aspire, they're actually here in Austin.
Who ported the game to PC?
But yeah,
Okay.
they've added Steam Workshop support, and the first thing that's available is the restored content mod, and that's fucking incredible.
Mm-hmm.
That's remarkable, in my opinion, for them
Especially
to do
for
this.
a game as old as it is.
Yeah. So
Maybe I'll actually go back and play it. Nah, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I could.
I can't. This is one of those series. I don't think I can play without just feeling just dead inside.
Wait, what?
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
wait,
that's extreme.
Wow.
You don't like KOTOR?
No, I love KOTOR, but
Dude, it's
now
okay. KOTOR's still canon.
But now it's a fucking MMO, and it kills me.
Wait, did you play KOTOR 2?
Yeah, I mean, I played about half of it, maybe more.
It's
been one of those games that I've always wanted to go back. You know what my shameful secret is?
What's that?
I have not finished either KOTOR game.
What?
Either one.
Really?
Do you know about
Not
the
even the
KOTOR
first one?
twist?
I know about the KOTOR twist. That
I think I spoiled that on a podcast ages ago.
yeah, thanks, Brad.
Just drop that bomb.
But I have not finished either one of them, and it's been a series that I've always wanted to go back to because I
They're
love them so
overrated.
much.
I mean, they're.
I
fine
said I
games.
love
They're
them so much.
fine
I said I
games.
love them so much as in the same breath as Brad. Just they're overrated.
Well, you haven't even finished them, so
Well,
you
I-
can't really love
I've-
them that much.
I finished the first one, and fuck you, Brad.
No, they're fine
Fuck
games.
you, Brad.
People act like
Fuck you.
greatest game of all time. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
probably on
Alan Wake
KOTOR
is-
1's probably on a couple lists.
But that
No,
was
it's on a lot of people's lists.
It's
Dude,
a great
that-
game.
That
I
game.
take Mass Effect over
That game
KOTOR.
completely made the summer that I played that, which was the year it came out.
Dude, I would
That's not really-
if
I understand it's a lot of people's first Western RPG.
oh my god, you fucking
What?
snobby piece of shit.
I'm sorry, no, that's cool. What? I'm a little down on KOTOR for the same reasons I'm a little down on Baldur's Gate. It's the combat system. I understand why people love it. Sorry.
Well, and Nick, to your point about it now being the Old Republic, the Old Republic is a separate product.
They will never return to Knights of the Old Republic.
I get that, I understand, but they shouldn't be considered the same thing because they're not even within the same time frame. They're like thousands of years apart.
They're like hundreds of years.
The point is
100
that
years, whatever.
that franchise, that Old Republic is very much a sequel quote unquote to Knights of the Old Republic, and there's no way that franchise is ever going to go back to being a player RPG.
Well, I mean, don't say
standalone.
that.
What
The
if that's
MMO
what Amy
wasn't that
Hennig is
successful.
working on? What if that's it?
It's not.
That she's working with Visceral
It's
Games.
definitely not.
It is definitely
Visceral.
not that.
Makers of
Dead Space.
Dante's Inferno.
Oh, you stupid!
What? We have to strike that from the record just because you don't like that game? We can't pretend it's part of their gameography?
Yeah, but why would you? They also made Dead Space and Dead Space 2, which
you
are
are
two
kinda
fucking
cherry
phenomenal
picking.
games.
Okay,
You're kinda cherry picking.
You're cherry picking.
And you're doing the exact opposite of cherry picking.
are cherry picking.
No, I'm not.
You're cherry
Yes,
picking.
you
for the-
are.
You piece of shit.
You act like Visceral is just the Dante's Inferno guys. Like that's all they did of any note.
You're basically saying that Visceral is defined by the one game they did, maybe not so great.
Wait. Okay, I never said it's defining. I just said they are
That's
the
the one
makers
you
of
chose?
Dante's Inferno.
Anyway.
Well, if they make a Star Wars game, probably might be a little bit more like Dante's and well, it depends if they're going to be a Jedi or not. I don't know. Hey, you know what? Not all God of War clones are that bad. Have you played Lords of Shadows?
2 was really good.
Yeah.
I'm willing to give Visceral a chance because you know what,
Dude,
I've
Not
enjoyed a
all of
bunch
their games are terrible.
No,
They make Dead Space.
and Dead Space 2. Dead Space 2.
It's just funny because it bothers you so much.
I love.
It's funny because so many. It's not just you. Everyone pretends that Dante's Inferno
no,
doesn't
I
exist.
played all the way through Dante's Inferno.
Of course you did. Not KOTOR, but Dante's Inferno.
Hey, I was in a very different place in my life when I played KOTOR.
Hey, I don't. Hey, I'm not gonna hold it against you. I finished Other M, and before I had finished Metroid Prime 2 or 3. So, again, to where we were in our lives.
I'd like to go on record and say that I actually enjoyed a lot of Dante's Inferno.
Okay.
You are on record.
We all.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, I must have enjoyed it to a degree. I played it all the way
It's
through.
out there now.
I finished that game.
out of the
But then again, I also finished whatchamacallit, the one game that we all hate so much. Fuck, I don't even know.
Wake.
For Visceral?
Battlefield Hardline?
No, the fucking terrible one from fucking
Singularity.
Castlevania, Lords of Shadow. I can't think of the name.
Mercury Steam.
Mercury Steam. Jericho.
Jericho.
You did finish Jericho.
I-
Not KOTOR.
At least I forgot what it's called, right?
Jericho.
At least I forgot the name of it, huh? God damn.
Wait, what are we talking about?
I don't know.
Did-
What's your news topic,
Did
Brad?
you know... this is not my news topic. This is like a little interim
Oh, he
news
gets
topic.
2 news topics.
That's not fair.
Anyway, go ahead. Did you know with Brad?
Okay, my actual news topic is... Chris is about to remind me.
You don't remember?
Oh, the Red Ash Kickstarter. Have we talked about this on the podcast?
Oh, you forgot
No.
about Red Ash?
If
just like
not, I
everyone
want to do a
else?
little update. So the Red Ash Kickstarter is the Keiji Inafune...
Mega Man Legends.
Basically, Mega Man. You know, if Mighty Number 9 is a Mega Man reboot, Red Ash is the Mega Man Legends reboot. And I just wanted to talk about kind of how it's doing. And it's not doing so well.
No, it's not.
It's no Shenmue 3.
I think it's going to hit its goal. But that goal,
It's only going to be on cell
if
phones.
you look at the way it's laid out, they were not expecting this to just barely hit its goal. Because the goal is not even a full game. The goal is just like the first few chapters of a full game.
Yeah.
And like the rest of the game was all
Stretch
It was all
goals.
stretch goals. They were just expecting this to be way more successful. Mighty Number 9 hit $4 million. So they set the goal to Red Ash for 800,000. And what? Mega Man Legends is a much more sophisticated game than a retro side scroller. This one's going to do crazy.
If we hit
right now it's sitting at around 400,000 out of its 800,000 goals with 12 days less. They're probably going to make it, but it's just funny that they seem so confident, and you could see that confidence, like I said, in their stretch goals.
Wait, how do you promise an incomplete game?
Well, because they
Is it
promised
like,
an incomplete game.
If we hit $2 million, we'll give the game an ending.
I think it'll hit its goal.
But you
Is
always
that a
got to
thing?
prepare for the fact that maybe you'll hit your goal but not hit the one that gives the game a complete ending.
I mean, at the same time, they're doing a Kickstarter for like an anime series based on this shit, and like
what?
the goal for that is just like a 5-minute short or some shit.
So
This is
basically
weird.
what you're saying is Mighty Number 9 got a little bit of blood in the water and they just like went ape shit. And
Yeah,
they're
they're
trying to,
fucking
like,
assholes.
They're trying to just like go for everything Mega Man
Yes.
related
Yeah,
now.
the idea is that Keiji Inafune, he created Mighty Number 9. It did very fucking well, and he thinks that the popularity of Mega Man Legends is on par with just basic Mega Man,
Which is not
and
even
it's
close.
Not even. No.
There's a reason Capcom canceled Mega Man Legends 3. Because no one played Mega Man Legends. They were fine games. They reviewed fairly well, but they didn't sell. You know? You can't compare like nostalgia to like old NES side-scrolling Mega Man or even Mega Man X to Mega Man Legends. Has anybody here played Mega Man Legends?
Nope.
I have, and I have beaten it.
I think I played like 30 minutes of that.
Isn't
game
that one of the
once.
ones we talked about maybe doing for a mini Project M?
Well, yeah, but you know what my argument against it was? No one's played this fucking game. There's not a lot of nostalgia for it.
Take a shit, buddy.
And you know what? You can see that in this fucking Kickstarter. So I feel bad, but at the same time, I mean, it should be a lesson. Don't structure your fucking Kickstarter like this. It just makes you look like a goddamn asshole.
Well, it's not just that. It's the problem. He decided to do a transmedia project with 2 Kickstarters at once. He failed to. They should have waited until Mighty Number 9 came out, because that's not out yet. It's not in like September.
We don't
I
even
think.
know if that's going to be all that successful.
We don't know about that game as a whole, okay? And the public perception of a brand new project launching at a very high demand goal for it to actually become a product before the previous products come out, that's pissing people off. And what's more is that what they've shown of this project is extremely little. It's on the same level that they had for Mighty Number 9 when it first started. They had nothing. They had sketches and concept art, and that's about it.
But Mighty Number 9 hit its goal still, right?
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then
yeah.
some.
I can't
And it
remember.
hit
It hit in
$1 million.
hours.
Okay, I
Like,
couldn't remember how successful
Absolutely.
that project
Very,
was.
very.
Yeah.
But the difference is that, again, you've got that differentiation of you've got Mega Man popularity versus Mega Man Legends popularity.
Also, you also got to remember that he launched his Kickstarter, not super long after he left Capcom to form his own studio. People were pissed off that Capcom didn't care about Mega Man. There's a lot of hype for that Kickstarter was anti-Capcom.
But yeah, Mighty Number 9 was like a statement.
Yeah.
And people wanted to get behind it. This is just like
Kind of like the way
bullshit.
Bloodstain was against Konami.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's probably gonna hit its goal, but it ain't gonna be a full game, and that's on them. That's because they're douche nozzles.
Do you think they'll maybe like find some sort of independent funding and just release a full game?
They'll have
Even
to.
if they hit the
maybe.
goal, do you think they're going to be like, well, fuck, we just barely eked by $800,000, but there's no way we can release half a game?
Yeah, I mean, maybe I don't even.
I mean-
it's so weird.
All these Kickstarters have independent financial backing outside of their Kickstarters, absolutely.
Yeah.
But they're going to have to demand a lot more for them to get to the scope of a game we expect from Inafune.
But they
and
said that
Comtech.
the game they're gonna ship is what it is, which is only partial.
And not that we can expect much of them right now, because they have wrapped up Mighty Number 9, but they're also doing a recode, right?
Recore.
Recore.
Oh yeah.
No, but that's from what I understand, that's mostly armature.
Yeah. But this team has got to have a limit somewhere.
Yeah. I guess one other little thing I'd like to bring up is so the Itagaki game, Devil's Third.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no.
That one that looks.
It is getting released in the U.S.
This is great. This is great. Go.
It's getting it's coming to PC. The multiplayer mode's coming to PC as a free-to-play game, which is super strange.
As super strange. And
There's previews out there of people who played almost the entire campaign, or maybe they completed it, and they are bad.
yeah, the
Dude,
single player
bad.
presence
Dude,
are
I
terrible.
have not seen a single piece of
Wait,
footage.
no,
of
some
this game that-
gameplay footage got out there. I'm going to show it off on the trailer talk I'm going to record in the morning, and I pulled the best I could find. Like, there's some where he's mostly just running through a level like shooting a rocket launcher, and it's too boring for even me to put in trailer talk.
So
There's a boss battle.
the multiplayer is coming to PC. Is the single player?
No.
No.
Guys, why does this
Really?
game exist? Why do games like this
Really?
exist?
You know why?
When Silent Hills is getting canceled.
Why are they going to such extreme
It
lengths?
exists
Nintendo
because
saved Devil's Third.
yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Because
it was
it was
very-
fucking Itagaki. He made fucking Ninja Gaiden, one of the best character actions game that's ever been made.
But also
because
not.
because it worked for Bayonetta. They saved Bayonetta. Bayonetta 2 was really hyped. It got really good reviews.
But Bayonetta was good.
No, I know. But
Yeah.
but Itagaki made Ninja Gaiden, one of the most respected character action games made
Right, but
of
this
all
isn't,
time.
This isn't like it's called Devil. It's a new franchise. It's not like they saved the Ninja Gaiden franchise and said, "Oh,
Sure,
the next
sure.
Ninja Gaiden's a Wii U
Sure, but you know what?
exclusive."
Nintendo is willing to throw money at a new IP
Just for the chance of it
that
being
Kami
big.
is making, just like Microsoft is willing to throw money at a new IP that Kami is making. And kind of over the years, Itagaki's always kind of compared himself to Kamiya and said, like, what are your most hated games? And they'd be like Devil May Cry, like, and all the stuff that Kami has ever made. That was like you'd see in like EGM, they'd be interviewing Itagaki, and they'll be like, "What are your 5 most hated games?" And it would be 5 Kamiya games.
Yeah.
But now if you look at Itagaki's, like Kami has never made anything but great fucking games. That's his track record. And you look at Itagaki's, and like people are starting to wonder if that original Ninja Gaiden was just an accident. Like, what the fuck happened? Because everything else sucked. It's sad. It's sad. And I know this game had a really, really troubled development. And that's probably the reason that this game is going to end up sucking. This game was originally published by THQ. Then THQ shut down. Then the company that they were licensing the engine from shut down, and they had to port it over to something else. Then they got saved by Nintendo, and Nintendo was like, "Oh, we don't even want to publish your game in America." They've had a really troubled development.
They're more than willing to publish it in Europe, but they didn't want to publish it initially in America.
Oh my god! I remember when this game was like announced, or like they had like a logo. I was like, "That looks kind of cool."
Is Nintendo
like, I wonder what that is? And then I saw the first gameplay, and I was like, "This looks like garbage."
the whole European thing and Japanese and American market? Are we at a point now where Nintendo thinks that investing in porting technology and games to the North American market is more trouble than it's worth? Like, are we at a point where, like, they don't think they're going to get a return on any investment that they make unless it's, like, a big deal?
Well, Nintendo of America is actually, like, Nintendo of America is where we're running into issues. Like, Nintendo is actually doing really good in Europe.
Yeah.
And they're getting games that we're not.
So what you're saying, saying is it's Reggie's fault.
I mean, for years now, like, Nintendo of Europe has been getting, like, exclusives and bundles and, like, all this really cool shit that Nintendo of America doesn't seem interested in bringing.
I mean,
Let me just say this right
extreme.
now.
Like, look at Xenoblade. When we got that game, like, the reason all those voices were British is because they didn't localize it for North America. They localized it for Europe.
Yeah.
And it came out in Europe before it ever came out over here. Like, fucking Europe has had Yoshi's Woolly World for like a month now. We don't get it till October. That's a finished game.
Let me just say this.
Like, what is...
If we don't get Fatal Frame, like, if they do not release that game as like a retail product, and they release Devil's Third as a retail product, I'm gonna burn Nintendo of America to the ground.
Well,
it's gonna burn it to the
they'll
ground.
release it. It's gonna be
Nintendo of
digital
America is
download.
not releasing Devil's Third as a retail project in this country. I think it's actually Xseed or some shit like that. It's one of those situations where
Somebody needs to release Fatal Frame as a
And it's going to be a
physical product.
GameStop exclusive or some shit.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that.
Shut your whore mouth, Chris Davis.
I'm sorry, Nick, but there's a you have to realize that for like a title like fucking Fatal Frame, like there's a slim chance these days that it's going to be a retail release on a console. Why? It's because it's more expensive to actually print a disc and a box and maybe even a manual than it is to just release it on digital.
Sure.
They make more money that way.
But there's enough people asking for it at this
cut.
point. There's enough people asking for that specifically at this point that I think they'd be surprised.
I don't know if that's
Who's asking for Fatal
who
Frame?
is. That's my question.
Johnny is asking for it.
Hey, you're asking
Bill.
for it.
They didn't release
know
Fatal
Bill.
Frame 4. Fatal Frame 4 never came out here.
I'd play it if it came out. I don't know
Yeah,
if
do you
I'd
know?
buy it.
I bet that would have sold too if it came out here. Like they're taking. There are bigger chances that Nintendo of America is taking than releasing Fatal Frame on a disc.
I mean,
Even associating Devil's Third with their console, I think is a bigger risk than bringing Fatal Frame to the West.
Well,
I agree with the sentiment that, yes, I want a physical copy of a game. They don't want to spend the money on it anymore.
I know, and fuck them for that.
So,
anyways, moving on. We've talked way more about this than I think we needed to. Let's do community.
Community, okay. Give me just 1 second and vamp for me if you don't mind.
What are you, Nolan? What are you, Nolan?
Well, let me get that going. How about we start with some Patreon questions?
This is
Oh,
my
okay.
favorite part of the show, I gotta say. Please, if you're a patron, keep submitting questions.
This is an interesting new segment. I enjoy this.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Actually,
Good. It's good stuff.
I don't have that load up on my phone.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
My God.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Did you submit the thing to Patreon this week?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, of course I did.
Well, I mean, I don't have
Because
that
I do my
link on
job.
phone.
Here, don't worry. I'll have it
Just
up here in just a
nobody's-
second.
Okay, can you pull it up?
Yeah, as long as I don't get any kind of interference.
You
from
do
the
that, and
microphones.
I will prep.
Son of a bitch.
Dude, I mean,
Son
Lo
of a bitch.
Ciento. I didn't realize we were going to go straight into it. I forgot about it, kind of. Sorry.
Like Nolan often does, but he usually pulls it up faster. We don't have to vamp for so long.
Well, I mean, I've
just gonna chill out till we're ready for Patreon.
All right, I'll have
I can tell you that we have 2 new patrons.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah, they joined us. The first one is Michael M.
Oh, it's
Michael
buzzing.
M.
It's buzzing.
Madsen.
Michael Madsen.
Michael Madsen.
What? It's buzzing.
It's buzzing.
Oh, sorry. And the
Hold it
second,
towards Krispies.
I can't read it.
And the
All right.
second patron is Alexander B.
Alexander B.
All right, I have all of our questions. All
Okay.
right.
Please go back into airplane mode.
I am back in airplane mode. All right. I apologize for the buzzing.
Alexander
done?
Boner.
Our first question comes from Michael M.
Michael in.
There we go.
Hey, what a coinky dink.
All right. He says, "What are the worst platforming mechanics you guys have ever seen in a video game?"
Okay, I've got a.
Have you ever played Super Mario 64? I'm
no.
just kidding.
No, I've got a good one.
Bubsy 3D.
So, back on the Super Nintendo, when licensed games were so big and they made platformers out of like all of them, they did a Roadrunner versus Wile E. Coyote game that was called Death Valley Race or something like that, and it was designed to where it was a lot like Sonic actually, how they did it, to where you're playing as the Roadrunner. You've got 3 acts per section, and you're going through as the Roadrunner and avoiding all the classic comedic things that the Coyote did to get the Roadrunner. And then at the third one, you got a boss, and you had to defeat this insanely stupid design for a boss. And oh my god, it was so pulled in the camera that you were often just falling to your death out of nowhere. You don't know why you're falling to your death, but you are.
You know what sucked?
Death Valley Rally, that was it.
Death Valley
Oh, you
Rally.
know, I got one. You know what sucked? Playing Catherine on Xbox 360.
Hey, but playing Catherine on PS3 was fantastic.
Sure, maybe. But, like, playing that on 360
'Cause you're using that shitty
fucking
D-pad.
little D-pad was the worst.
Was the worst.
Why was that game even on Xbox? That's crazy.
I want the
unplayable
Xbox version
that
because
guy.
they wanted that one Catherine.
They wanted because of the
Catherine with
cover.
a C?
Because they got Catherine with a C on their cover.
And Catherine... Wait, Catherine with a C was the real one?
Catherine with a K was the classy one.
No spoilers.
That's what it was.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, I never
Was
got
that a
around to playing
spoiler?
No.
I've never...
Castlevania.
I never played very far into the game because I
Castlevania
played it on
Lords of
360.
No. Sorry, I have an answer. Classic Castlevania had shitty platforming mechanics, and those games were very platformy heavy back then. You just had a single jump. You couldn't control yourself in the air. You get hit, you get knocked back, you fall in holes. Fuck Classicvania.
I'm trying to think of what I would consider to be the worst platforming, and I'm having some trouble.
You know, the whole reason that Symphony of the Night kind of became a Metroidvania is because they were tired of in Castlevania where when you fell into a hole and you died, and they were like, what if you fall into a hole and there's something else down there, you know, instead of dying. That's where it came from. Kind of an evolution of Rondo of Blood.
All right. Our next question comes from Landon M. And this is kind of a basic one, but let's humor him.
Okay.
I've never gotten into JRPGs. Which ones would you recommend?
What? That's pretty
Lost
broad.
Odyssey.
Oh, that's okay.
He has to give us more info, though.
Don't even worry about it.
If you have an
I'd
Xbox,
recommend skipping the genre.
Does he want to play an old one? Does he want to play a modern one?
He does not specify. I think he just wants a general recommendation.
There was one like kind of like little like cult classic one from a few years ago that was making the rounds. I think it was called
This is a
Final
joke.
Fantasy VII.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
I knew that was coming.
It was a joke.
People really like those Persona games.
I do
I've
like
heard.
Persona.
Lost Odyssey.
I don't think that's
Okay,
supposed to
Chris
start.
Davis says Lost Odyssey.
You want to
What-
bore
okay,
yourself to
do you
death.
guys
Come on, this is
remember-
his first.
Lost Odyssey.
Okay, the Xeno.
Make your best effort to recommend a starter JRPG for anybody.
Xenoblade. But the thing with
from
Xenoblade.
PS2. What was the PS2?
Oh, Xenosaga.
Xenosaga. Was that good?
Well, I
Hey,
mean,
I remember hearing
enjoyed
good
it.
things about it at the time.
Trigger.
That,
Try that.
and you know what? Actually, a series I got into on PS2 was Dot Hack. I didn't play all of them, but like
I played the very
the first couple
one.
I
Dot
played the
Hack
first
games
one.
were really cool, in my opinion.
It was a cool concept. I just think it kind
It's
of
an interesting concept. I think it was ahead
I mean,
of its
I
time.
didn't see it through to the end, obviously.
yeah.
It,
But
it
it was-
shouldn't have dragged on
it
as
was
long as it
interesting.
did.
Final Fantasy
I was
VI.
pretty heavy into JRPGs when I first started getting into gaming. But even that was that was right around Final Fantasy. I think I first started getting into RPGs right after Final Fantasy VIII came out, and I loved Final Fantasy VIII.
9's a pretty good one as well.
But I think if I had to recommend a great starter JRPG,
Kingdom Hearts.
JRPG.
That's not a
Legend of
JRPG.
Dragoon.
It's kind of J.
I mean, kind of a JRPG.
it's a soft J.
No, I was actually probably going to
The J
recommend
is
Final Fantasy
silent.
X. I think it has a really unique
10,
battle
yeah.
system.
It does have an HD.
It does have an
version.
HD version. I think it has a great story. I think it has, it's pretty to look at too. I mean, it kind of has all. There's nothing really about Final Fantasy X that I think is really going to turn someone off to trying the genre.
If you can get past some of the voice acting, yeah.
Some of the voice acting. You
So
know
I said
what?
some of the voice acting.
of the
I
voice
didn't say
acting.
all the voice acting.
I always think classic though, when trying to get someone into JRPGs, because if you're not already into JRPGs, like a modern one with lots of voice acting and stuff, it can come off way sillier than they did back in the day when we used our imagination more.
Would you say Vesperia is a good entry?
Well, if you want to play a Tales of game, Tales of Vesperia is a great place to start. And it's also like $3.75 on the Xbox Live Marketplace right now if you have gold. So maybe try that.
If you want something obscure,
Yeah, Vesperia. Well, Nier
doesn't have a whole lot of
Nier's-
RPG elements.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
Yeah.
Try to
Yeah.
look around the room and just think of anything else.
Oh, Final Fantasy X too.
and is Dark? Are we not counting Dark Souls? I mean, it's not really.
No.
That's
not-
like
that's
a
not JRPG.
Western style J.
If you have a
weird.
DS or a 3DS, I recommend picking up Chrono Trigger.
He's been trying to get me to do that for years. I just don't believe him.
It's no, Nick. I didn't start playing Chrono Trigger until a few years ago. It's worth it.
It's a
Now I'm definitely not doing
Wait, so
it.
Chrono Trigger,
Wow.
Chrono Trigger is the good one. Chrono Cross is the bad one.
yes,
Okay.
yes,
No.
you've learned properly.
Well,
No.
it's just you guys.
I've
say
played
it.
Chrono Cross about 4 or 5 times. It's a pretty good game.
all the way through.
All the way through.
4 or 5 times.
4 or 5
I do
times.
not believe you.
I did not back when I was playing RPGs. I didn't really play a lot of games. I was cycling between Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 8, Chrono Cross, and Legend of
Turok.
Dragoon.
And Turok.
There was like a whole year or two where I played nothing but like those 4 games.
Chrono Cross has an amazing soundtrack.
Chrono Cross is an amazing game.
Everyone in chat saying Chrono Cross is good.
Chrono Cross is good.
These people are all 11
While I
years
will
old.
readily admit that Chrono Trigger is probably the better game. But I do
haven't
like.
even played it. I'm okay with you saying you prefer Chrono Cross, considering it's the only one you played.
It's the
Oh, that's very kind of you, Brad. Thank you.
it's just give Chrono Trigger a try. It does
I
some
did.
really
I
interesting.
tried.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I tried.
How far did you get in? Do you remember?
About 2 hours, and I was like, ugh. But that
Okay.
was a long time ago. I could try it again.
Chrono Cross is good.
They
until
do
you
some
get to
really
the
interesting
I think
things
you
with
stick
time
with
travel.
Soul Reaver.
I
Don't play the PS1 version.
don't even start.
Is-
Well, okay, wait. We have more questions, guys.
Sure.
More questions.
Play it on
How about this one?
Dreamcast.
Captain Passion Man.
Captain Passion Man.
I think he asked a question last week. I could be
Yeah,
wrong.
this is Carl.
Captain
It's
Man
gotta be.
Passion.
What real-world country or city would you like to be 100% accurately detailed and playable in a video game, and why?
And why? I don't have to explain myself.
That's weird though, because a real city probably wouldn't be that interesting of a game environment.
Well, think of like Austin, completely like Google Maps accurate.
That'd be cool just because I live here.
Because it'd be like, oh, I'm gonna go down Lavaca Street to
Who
this
would wanna
little
play-
taco stand.
Who would want to play that?
and then you can do drive-bys on Lamar or
Oh,
I'm
God.
gonna
That's
climb
what's
up to
gonna
the top of
happen
the
with
Frost
these
building
games.
and jump off.
Yeah, I think there's. I think that maybe
Eagle.
this is a good question, but I think maybe the honest answer would be I don't think I want to see any city 100%. I think there's liberties that need to be taken.
It's
building a
weird
city.
because on the one hand, it's kind of cool to see environments that you're familiar with in a game, but that's kind of boring. You kind of want to go places that you could never go.
Like, look at what-
But on the other hand, if they accurately model a city that you've never been to, it's like, okay, I'll just take your word for it.
Isn't Disney World the city technically?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, it has its own zip code, I think.
yeah. You know what?
You would want to go to a theme park in a video game?
Well, I wouldn't want to go to fucking downtown Austin in a video game.
But I mean, how is Disney World any better?
Only if it has
Because
Oculus support.
fucking
It's so
it's
weird.
fancy.
Because they could still have Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Yeah.
Y'all are so
I'd
weird.
rather ride a roller coaster in a game than stand on a sidewalk in a
That's
game.
Equally dumb.
No, that
Those are both boring.
How about
Have you
Egypt?
ever-
Egypt is not a.
Egypt's not a
That's a
city.
I know it's not. He said country or city.
You
in the
country
question.
or
If you
city.
were paying attention,
Oh, it can be a whole country?
Oh, that's
Middle
a whole
Earth.
thing.
That's completely.
you know, I've been a
He
big.
did say real.
I've been a big supporter of Assassin's
said
Creed going to Egypt for a while. That'd be pretty cool, I think. But I think Egypt in general is a
Egypt is
very.
boring.
Hey,
No.
I mean, you're
they
thinking
asked for my
pyramids.
opinion.
Nick,
There's like
your
3.
opinion's wrong.
I hate both of you.
How many pyramids are there?
3. After a while.
I mean, you can't do much with them. Do you want to like go inside them, make it like a Tomb Raider game? That'd be cool.
How about
if they do, if
how
they,
about a horror game where you go inside of a pyramid and there's a mummy hunting you?
How about Transylvania, but instead you call it Castlevania City?
guarantee if they ever go to Egypt in an Assassin's Creed game, there's going to be some stupid chase mission where you have to jump off the nose of the Sphinx, and that's what
happens.
that's what knocks it off the Sphinx. That's what they're gonna do.
Then you kill it. You assassinate.
I hate you.
Or maybe you kill somebody by like
Leaping off a pyramid.
by knocking the nose off and it crushes somebody.
All right, do we have another question?
Nobody
guess-
answered this question.
We did.
I feel like we very
I think
accurately
the
answered
problem.
it.
I think the problem with this question is that you kind of have to define what kind of gameplay you want with that city or country. I mean, if it's like fucking Just Cause, I mean, you can put that fucking anywhere.
What if it's a
like
Godzilla game? Do you want to be in Tokyo?
Yeah, I want to smash all Japan.
That's why I
not?
went with a country instead of a city, just because I think it's hard to find any one city that is alone is interesting enough to basically be an entire game. I mean, there's probably plenty. Like, I think,
Rome?
yeah, but I think Assassin's Creed is kind of cherry picked all the cities that are like really genuinely interesting to be in, as like to be 100% accurately modeled after. Like, if you pull back and you look more broader and you look at countries, you can find inspiration within an entire country to design a world around.
Like I was saying, like if they say like, oh, this is accurately modeled, unless you ever go there, it doesn't fucking matter if it's accurate.
Yeah.
I think y'all are getting too caught up on the idea when you
My
said
vote is Austin.
My vote is Austin.
Can I finish? I think y'all are focusing too heavily on how he said 100% accurate. Let's just remove that. What
Okay,
game
so
what city or country would you like to be in? Would you like to inspire a
The
location in
Shire.
a video game?
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam, okay.
The Shire.
I think you could. They tried to do it with Sleeping Dogs, but I would like to see another interpretation of Hong Kong, like
Okay.
80s Hong Kong.
All right,
Sure, that'd be cool.
fair enough.
I could get down with that.
I wish there were more games.
Marine.
I wish there were more games set in
That's not a real city, but yeah.
set during the Revolutionary War. I think that'd be like not Assassin's Creed games, but like I think that was a really cool choice for an Assassin's Creed game. But like I would like to see another game set that isn't like one of the History Channel games. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
You know what my dad told me that over Independence Day when I went to visit my family, told me I'm related to like the dude from The Patriot or something, or like his best friend or something
What?
like that.
You're related
To Mel
fucking
Gibson?
Mel Gibson?
Wait, apparently that Mel Gibson character was based on like a real dude or something, and I'm like related. to
I
that
believe
guy.
based is very loosely used.
I think what he meant to say is that you're loosely related to Mel Gibson.
Yes,
Loosely.
to Mel Gibson.
Okay.
Any more questions?
There's one more question.
Okay.
What Sean?
Sean.
Sean.
Press X to Sean.
S-E-A-N or S-H-A-U-N?
S-E-A-N.
Okay.
What is the... See, I don't know if we can answer this question because statute of limitations and all, but it says, what is the most shocking plot twist that you ever saw in a video game?
Oh fuck.
We can't... I don't want to spoil
Yeah, that's
plot twists.
at
but we
the
can-
end of KOTOR 1.
I know. Thanks, Brad. I'm fully aware of that plot twist, and I think that was a great plot twist.
I mean, just like for a transition of narrative or to shock value, or
Silent Hill 2 had a fantastic twist.
At the
I
end,
will not tell you. I'll not say what it is, but it's pretty damn good.
for an emotional twist for me, I really like The Darkness.
The darkness. What was the twist of the darkness? The first one?
What was the twist?
Well, I can't exactly reveal it without.
Was it a twist?
I mean, it was something you didn't see coming, and it affects the character significantly.
That doesn't make it a twist.
I mean, at that point, you're interpreting the dark one way, and then once that happens, you're dealing with it a completely different way.
I like the twist at the end of towards the end of Lunar, the Silver Star story.
Gigamir, yeah, in Slade Odyssey of the West, that was a nice twist at the end. I like that.
This may not be the best, but it's the only one I can think of at the moment.
BioShock 1 had a great twist.
Oh yeah, thank you. That's what I was about to say. BioShock 1.
Oh really?
When you get to Ryan's office, Andrew Ryan. Yeah.
Somebody was able to like retrieve the player model for the main character in BioShock the other day.
Oh, I saw that.
Does he look weird?
He looks goofy as shit.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't mean to stir up
He
shit.
looks like the Pit Boy.
Shattered Memories.
Really?
The Fallout.
Vault Boy?
Shattered
Boy,
Memories.
yeah.
Silent Hill Shattered Memories has an excellent twist as well. But I do say this. I will say this, and I know I don't want to stir up shit. We already mentioned BioShock 1, but if you want to talk about the most shocking twists, BioShock Infinite had one of the most shocking twists I've ever, my jaw hit the floor pretty hard in Infinite.
Yeah, it was alright.
I guess.
And I loved it. I know we've gone on.
Wait,
and
are you
on
talking
and on
about? Are you talking about like the twist, or like? Never mind.
Well, there's one moment in particular where something happens and you're just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That moment made my jaw hit the floor.
I guess you could never discount, Final Fantasy VII. That. I think that's like the mother of all twists, really.
What's the twist?
There's a twist in Final Fantasy VII?
Oh yeah, what happens to Aerith?
Look up the definition of twist.
That is not a twist, my friend.
Beast?
That is an event.
I don't think
in a
he
story.
twisted the blade at all.
I guess you're right.
The
Yeah,
best
you're right.
twist was in Dragon's Dogma when the dragon comes back and takes away your one true love, and it was the dude from the inn, and you're like, oh my god, I didn't realize he was my soulmate. Come on, it was a joke, guys. Come on, because of the weird mechanic in that game where the dragon takes the NPC that you interact with the most, and for most people, it was the.
Final Fantasy X had a pretty big twist, I guess.
Yes, let's.
Was it really?
No,
time?
we're not moving on.
We're not
4
done yet.
minute.
Where you're going, Brad?
More other stuff.
We're not doing the full minute yet.
Yeah,
We got more community to go.
yeah.
Are you ready now?
I'm ready.
All right.
I am ready to talk about Chatter of the Week.
Oh, we haven't done these in so long.
We haven't done Chatter of the Week in a long time. Yay, Chatter of the Week.
'Cause
Everybody
Nolan's-
here with me.
Nolan's a bitch.
Chatter
I'm
of
just kidding. Love you, Nolan.
This is everybody's favorite part of the show. Everybody's.
It's
We
not
pit
mine.
two
But
chatters
it's okay.
against one another, an all-out brawl of chatterness. And
It's a very Nolan thing of you to say.
something Nolan that we'll say right now. Our first chatter of the week is
I don't even remember how to do these.
Nadim.
Nadim. Okay.
Nadim is
Could it be Nadim?
By the way,
he
Nolan.
says Nolan pronounced it right. He says Nadim.
Nadim.
Nahdem
Nadim.
to pronounce it.
Nadim.
Nadim's chat name is Schwigwam.
Schwigwam. I've
And
never
he's-
seen Schwigwam before, but I hope he shows up
Schwigwam.
because that is a sweet name.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wait, what is it?
SHWIGWAM.
Schwigwam.
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 Yeah. And he's from LA.
Of course.
His shameful secret. I put close to $100 into the free-to-play Tribes Ascend game after it showed signs of being abandoned by Hi-Rez because I couldn't accept the fact that the developer would just throw away such a promising and exciting revitalization of the FPS genre.
So throwing money at it would get them to change their mind about canceling it?
I hope they're
abandoning it?
lame-ass MOBA tanks.
Salty.
A little salty. His greatest gaming achievement. Call of Duty World at War's veteran campaign mode is the most pointlessly stupid and unfulfilling thing I have ever put myself through in a video game. Not even remotely a fan of the series, but I did it. I remember the Heart of the Reich level being absolute hell. Grenades everywhere, didn't feel great, but I probably got an achievement for it.
Probably. You didn't even stop to check.
Yeah.
You know, has anyone else ever started playing a game like in the hardest mode or whatever, and then like gotten like 4 or 5 levels into it, and then just asked yourself, why did I even start doing this? Like, why?
You know, if you
I've done that to like 3 Call of Duty games. Like, well, I don't even give a shit enough about this series to even warrant my decision to do this.
did you play Ninja Gaiden Black?
No.
In Ninja Gaiden Black, what they added on an easy mode, but it only unlocked after you died a certain amount of times. And to punish the player, they have a cinematic where Ayame comes out and she puts like a pink ribbon on Rio Hayabusa's arm. So you have to wear that the entire time you're playing easy mode. Just to fuck with you. And
It's expensive.
It's Itagaki, guys.
It's Itagaki.
He sounds like a real piece of shit.
Sucks.
Well, that's one way to put it, Brad. Thanks.
And Schwigwams, I like that name. Schwigwam.
He's already won, man. That name is sweet.
That's a good name. His
Schwigwam.
top 5 games of all time. Number 5, SOCOM.
U.S. Navy SEALs.
The first one?
I'm going to go SOCOM 2.
SOCOM Confrontation.
Wait, isn't that like a PSP game?
No, that's a PS3 game that wasn't even made by Zipper. It was made by Slant 6. And
Slant 6 made Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City.
Yeah,
Yep.
and look what that terrible game.
All right, Schwigwam.
Such promise.
Such promise, and you're already shitting it away. I'm sorry. Continue.
Number 4, Divine.
Divinity.
Idiot.
I don't even know. Divine. Divine 2?
Actually,
I have no idea.
Is there... What?
no, Brad's right. Divine Divinity.
I mean,
that's the name of a video game.
Divine
games.
Divinity.
Yeah.
Wait, is that Divinity?
That's the original Divinity game.
It's called Divine Divinity?
Yes.
It's not Divine parentheses Divinity. It's Divine Divinity.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
the stupidest name I've ever heard.
They're just
It's redundant.
His number 3 game of all time is Metroid.
Prime.
Other M.
comma super.
I'm just kidding. I'm going to go Metroid Prime, yeah. You kind of spoiled it because it can't be super.
It's Metroid Zero Mission.
Oh, yeah. I guess that works. Damn it.
His number 2 game is Demon.
Souls.
Demon's Crest.
I don't even feel comfortable.
An
guessing.
excellent Super Nintendo side-scroller.
No, it's Demon Souls.
Okay.
Okay.
And his number 1 game of all time is Mass Effect.
2. It's 2.
Just Mass Effect.
God damn it. Just...
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's like 80% of the time it's just Mass Effect. Right?
I don't know
When it
about
pops
that.
up.
All right.
I think people are trying to win that chat.
Who is Schwigwam up against?
Schwigwam is
at
up
this.
against Ty. Tye. Chat name Sultan of Faith.
Who are these people? I don't know, but thank you for listening.
You know what? I had a nice chat with people. I was like, hey, guys, listen, I know a lot of you are not chatting. I want to get to know some of you people that never chat. And I met a lot of people that I don't see chat very often, and we had a nice conversation.
If you're lurking, say hi.
If you're lurking, say hi.
If Sultan of Faith is in chat, pop up, say hi.
I think Nolan usually tells them.
or
when they're
Schwigwam.
when
I
they're
just
going
want
to
to
be
say
on the show.
Schwigwam again.
Schwigwam.
And Ty is from Connecticut. His shameful secret. When I was a kid, I used to be a dirty, scummy pirate that torrented any and all PSP games I could quickly Google search.
You son of a bitch.
One particular game, however, got me in trouble. My ISP sent us an email about Burnout Dominator and a warning to stop my illegal activities or will be fined.
Pink
Sorry, I'm
candy
just
cake.
waving to all the lurkers in chat that are saying hi.
Oh, Pink Candy.
Burnout
God damn
Dominator.
it.
Pink Candy Cave is lurking.
I haven't played a Burnout game since that day, which is sad. Because Dominator came out like right before Revenge in Paradise, I think.
There's also Burnout
Man, you know,
Legends, I
you-
think.
You know it's bad when your ISP tells you to stop doing that shit.
Yeah,
you know it's bad.
That's not good. All right, let's see here. His greatest gaming achievement. My cousin used to own Tony Hawk Pro Skater, but no memory card. I would play through unlocking as much as I can, only to have my progress reset once I left. I never got past the downtown level, so the rest of the game is a mystery to me. Fast forward to now, I bought Tony Hawk Pro Skater and a memory card, and can finally unlock Downhill Jam. However, it turns out I hate it.
Doesn't that have a code system?
Downhill Jam, you hate it? Who would have guessed? Who would have guessed?
I remember.
Isn't that the one that requires the
it's just
skateboard?
spoiled. It's
No.
just spoiled dreams. You know, that game had infinite potential for him, and then he finally, after all these years, got to see what he was missing out and realized that it was not worth it.
When I first got my PlayStation,
He grew up a little bit.
When I first got my PlayStation, I didn't realize I needed a memory card because I was coming off of Super Nintendo.
Cartridges had saves at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I and one of the first games I got was Tekken 2, and there's so many unlockable characters in that game. I would unlock every single character in the game and just play with them for a few days without turning off my PlayStation before I finally, just with a tear in my eye, had to turn off my PlayStation. And then I would do it all again like the next week or whatever.
That's sad. All right.
All right.
What's
and his top 5 games of all time, and this is a very interesting list. Number 5, Halo.
That's
Combat Evolved.
Combat Evolved.
3,
Okay.
which is fair because 3 is
Fair
pretty good. Number 4,
mean,
Final Fantasy.
10.
Please go 9 this time, because
I'm gonna say 8.
I'm gonna go 7.
I'm gonna say 8.
Brad, would you lock eyes with me as I say this?
What?
Final Fantasy Tactics Advance.
Oh, this guy loses. Well, I mean, I really like the other guy's list.
Number 3, Super Mario.
64.
World.
Super Mario, fucking, who cares? I'm just,
You're burnt out after
Super
number 4.
Mario 2, The Lost Levels.
Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island.
Figures.
Number 2, The Legend of Zelda.
don't even give a
Faces
shit.
of Evil.
Don't even give a shit anymore.
You don't
Is
even
that,
give a
is
shit.
that real?
Ocarina of Time.
On
Let's just
CD.
go ahead and say it.
Wind Waker. And
right.
his number 1 game of all time,
Is
Mirror.
Edge.
Mirror
Wait. Mirror.
of Fate?
Yeah, it's the only thing I think of.
No. What's
Isn't
that
that
Mickey Mouse
Castlevania?
game?
Oh,
Mirror of Illusion?
yeah.
It's Mirror's Edge. Let's be honest, people. It's Mirror's Edge.
That's a favorite game of all time?
Just
though?
what is it?
It's Mirror's Edge.
Okay.
Okay.
That game is unique as fuck.
All right, so we have
Schwigwam.
Schwigwam
I'm sorry.
versus Sultan of Faith. Schwigwam's Shameful Secret. He spent $100 on Tribes of Sin after the game was
He
about
wins.
to die.
Congratulations, Schwigwam.
His greatest gaming achievement was beating the campaign on Call of Duty World at War. And his top 5 games were SOCOM Confrontation, Divine Divinity, Metroid Zero Mission, Demon Souls, and Mass Effect. Then we have Sultan of Faith from Connecticut. Shameful Secret was that he pirated games like a
Dirty
terrible,
pirate.
terrible person.
Dirty pirate.
Greatest gaming achievement was unlocking Tony Hawk Pro Skater and realizing that he hates it. And top 5 games were Halo 3, Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, and Mirror's Edge.
Honestly, they're both inspired lists. But I'm going to give it to Schwigwam because of his name and because he's not a pirate. And because
Schwigwam.
I'm gonna give it to Schwigwam too, purely on the basis of the spending $100 on Tribes of Sin.
a free game.
Tribes of Sin was a good game.
It is a free to play game. I like Tribes. I had fun with it.
I think it still has an
It's-
active community.
It's sad that High Res isn't supporting it anymore. But like, goddamn, man, $100.
Yeah.
What the
God
fuck?
damn.
What the fuck? Anyway.
Well, I think it's going to be one-sided. Yeah, I have to agree with Schwigwam. I like Schwigwam.
Sorry, Sultan of Faith.
Sorry.
Sorry, bro.
Thanks for submitting, but your name isn't as cool as Schwigwam.
That's what it was, really.
It's so fun to say.
Schwigwam.
Just have a cool
Schwigwam.
name when you submit.
Schwigwam. I'm just kidding.
Like, eat the pepper, Brad.
Congratulations, Schwigwam. I can't even say that. It's like a tongue twister.
Schwigwam.
Congratulations. I can't even. Okay, I'm done.
What if we're all pronouncing it wrong?
Schwigwam. We're not.
Schwigwam.
We're not. We're doing it correctly. Anyways,
Let's wrap things up with the 4-player minute.
if you would like to
just a
become
second.
Chatter of the Week, you could you could make a submission for Chatter of the Week by simply visiting 4playernetwork.com, and on the right-hand side of the page, you'll see a link that says Become Chatter of the Week. Click that, fill out the form, boom. We do take these in order, so you may not be immediately on the show, but Nolan will eventually contact you when your turn has arrived, and he will let you know that you will be on the show. So it's very simple. Please do that. And let's go ahead and wrap the show up with the 4-player minute. We're going to say our hype, our sweat, our thank you, and our fuck you of the week. Bradley starts us
I'm
off.
going to start with my thank you. My thank you goes to Jack, who came over last night and helped me get my computer all fixed up. Now it's all fixed up. My fuck you for the week goes to Steam sharing, because for some reason I completely, and this was before I reformatted, for some reason it just completely dropped Nolan's and Crispy's list from my computer for some reason.
Oops.
Because I wanted to play Life is Strange, because Crispy has it. And then I found out you can't share Life is Strange because it's episodic, and you can't share episodic games because they're all DLC or some shit. So now I had an urge to play Life is Strange. I was going to play with Maya. Now I can't play it, or I don't have it. And I'm not going
Bummer.
to buy the episodes.
You should make him earn it back.
What?
Earn back the sharing.
Well,
Make him
I'm
work for it.
a little concerned because I was thinking about maybe playing Chroma Squad tomorrow, which I was going to share from Brad's account.
Well,
I haven't
then
checked to see.
You better give me access.
I haven't
if you want
checked to see
access
if I have his list on my Steam account still.
Well,
I think I do.
I don't know. My hype goes to Galaxy. That comes out not next week, but the week after that. That is the kind of I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, it's kind of like Asteroids, but like a little bit of.
It's a roguelike now.
Yeah, roguelike.
But it has it's really satisfying like mechanics where you're like jetting through space and you're flipping your ship around all like, you know,
shooting asteroids.
Kind of like in Battlestar Galactica, you know, the way they flip their ships around in that series. It's cool. I don't know. It just looks cool, and it has this really cool 80s anime aesthetic to like the story and cutscenes and stuff. I think it looks pretty cool. Well, I played it, and it's pretty fun. And my sweat goes to Star Fox Zero. Does anybody care about Star Fox Zero? I've been trying to play Star Fox 64 on my 3DS, and I just don't like Star Fox. Why do people like those games? They're just fucking...
Some people like rail shooters.
Why? I mean, it's not
They
even
can
a
be fun.
particular... I mean...
It was fun. It got like the like all range or all terrain mode or whatever. Those segments were fun. I like that.
Like,
where it was like
sort of.
they kind of like let you actually pilot the ship for a minute. Like,
do you know why
that
people
was
liked
cool.
all range mode? Because rail shooters suck, and they're like, I actually get to fly my ship around. It's not like those controls or anything were all that fucking great. I mean, if Star Fox Zero is going to be just more Star Fox 64, I'm a little worried, because I don't think I like Star Fox that much. If I'm going to play a rail shooter, I'd rather play like Panzer Dragoon or Rez or some shit. Star Fox is the aesthetic and like the animals talking. I just never did much for me. I don't know. But it's the next platinum game we're gonna get, so I guess I gotta play it.
You have to. All right, Crispy.
Okay. Going off the cuff here. My hype is actually for this weekend. I'm going to be guesting on the 4-player anime cast.
Yes.
And I'll be talking about...
There's Kenton in chat right now.
Kenton, yeah. So Kenton invited me
You
on
call
to
him
the...
Kenton?
Kenton? FTW?
Wow, maybe it's Kenton.
What?
Kenton?
Kenton?
Oh my God.
There's a Texan accent here. Calm
he
the fuck
invited me
down.
on to 4-player anime cast. I'll be talking about Assassination Classroom, which I started watching, and maybe a couple other things. So looking forward to that. Should be fun. My sweat is from my capture card, because I still have it like installed in my computer. My computer is like kind of recognizing that it's there, but like there's still some... It's still fucky. So
Gotta finish the job.
I am working on it. I am working on the capture card
Let
situation.
the record show
but
that
it's
Brad has
still...
once again suggested that somebody else goes
Yeah,
to
why
his
don't
house.
you go?
It's your capture card, and you installed it. You should make sure it works. I don't.
You certainly didn't step out to help out Nick there when he was
I've
having
never
problems.
even used it. You built this computer,
sounds-
and I've never used that capture card that you've installed. I've never used that software. You're the man for the job, Mr. Davis.
So this is
if it was a black
this
magic
is Brad's
intensity-
strategy. This is how he doesn't help anybody ever. Is he literally just makes sure he doesn't get his hands in anything.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to do it.
Listen-
That way you can't claim
Let
that I need to
alone,
help you.
let alone don't make him drive anywhere.
Listen, if it was an Intensity Pro, I just fucking installed mine, I would go over and help him. But I have no idea how an Avermedia works. So
I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Continue.
what happened to Chris Cross? What happened to this support network?
We help each other as we
It was
can.
an entire network of 2 people. My thank you, or my fuck you for the week goes to
Your capture card.
Warner Brothers and WB Montreal for that fucking Batgirl DLC. It's super disappointing. That was a wasted opportunity. That was terrible.
The Killing Joke.
What?
What?
Something about the Killing Joke.
What?
What?
What did you say?
Wait, do you
What
know
did you say?
Do you,
And my thank you for the week goes to nobody.
fuck.
Nobody.
His second
My
fuck
fuck you for the week goes to Brad.
You already
for
said your fuck
some
you.
reason. Yeah, I
For-
got 2 fuck yous this week.
No,
One's for you, Brad.
your third fuck you was to people who like the Killing Joke.
What?
What? I'm just kidding.
Brad is
Brad.
trolling.
Brad, come on, man.
We're not talking
Chris
about it.
Davis.
Okay.
Chris Davis.
I was waiting to be prompted. My hype is for the Rare collection that's coming out in 2 weeks.
Oh,
'Cause there's-
that is soon.
That is coming out. It's $30, 30 games, and
I'll be playing at least one of those in the feed.
I only want to play one of them. And
Jet Force Gemini?
I was gonna say Jet Force Gemini.
And you're going to play the
I want to play
fucking-
Blast Core.
Okay.
That's
Blast
all
Core.
I want to fucking
all right.
play.
I'll be playing Jet Force Gemini on the feed.
You can count on me playing Blast Core. But I've seen some of the
I
footage.
also will be playing Banjo Kazooie for the first time I think ever.
They've actually
Really?
put some.
Like with the intention of finishing it.
They've actually put some effort into this collection. There's like the presentation between the games. It's actually kind of cool.
I'm hoping it turns out well because that's one hell of a collection.
My sweat this week is the fact that I promised I was going to start up Shenmue 2. And a Shenmue game is not a game that you devote just a few hours to at any given time. You devote half a lifetime to actually playing it and experiencing everything.
Did you find
And
your
I don't-
copy, by the way?
I still haven't found it, but I'm looking.
Do you want to take mine before you go? I want to make sure you play that game.
That would be a safe bet.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I know I own it. I just don't know where it is.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, but I don't know if I can devote as much time as I need to actually play it.
Well, welcome to my world.
Find some sailors, man.
Yeah, well, Shenmue 2, I mean, you just got off the boat. You don't need to find sailors.
Oh, that's true. That's the first one. Why aren't you playing the first one?
It's already beaten the first one.
No. Oh, okay.
I never played the second one.
Okay.
so-
I have never touched a Shenmue game in my life.
Really?
Don't even know what it is.
You open drawers and shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds sweet.
I guess my fuck you of the week has to go to just the amount of the little time that I have right now. I'm working on so many fucking projects right now, and I just took on a contract to make a trailer for a game, and it's a long process, but I'm working on it. I can't talk about it, but that's what I'm doing.
Final Fantasy 15. Trailer by Chris Davis.
I can make that. Just give me access to the game. I'll make a trailer for it.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
I'll pick out all the good voice acting, and it'll be up for like 5 seconds.
You know what? Maybe go make
Oh
a
my
trailer for
God.
that fucking Zelda game because Nintendo forgets how to make cool trailers. I don't know why.
Nintendo forgets how to actually market their games at this point. Remember when they would release trailers? And
Remember when
then
they would
actually-
release their games on discs?
Remember that Twilight Princess trailer? Remember? Blades will
Anyways.
bleed.
Yeah. And I really don't have a thank you. So
Unthankful people.
Thank nobody.
I can't thank anybody.
You know
you,
what?
Brad.
My thank you of the week.
Your thank yous cannot turn
You
into
can't
fuck you,
think of
Brad's.
one.
That's
No,
not
I was
fair.
going to say Vunic, but then I realized I think I said Vunic last week.
I don't think you did.
Well, you know what? Thank you, Vunic,
ungrateful-
because I got through an entire broadcast last week without any crashes, and it's all thanks to you.
when I said
Pinpointing that problem.
Vunic is the man, I feel like you didn't trust me.
No, I didn't trust him when you said, "Hey, why don't we fly Vunic down to Austin to look at your PC?"
That
said that.
was Alatch's last ditch effort.
The last ditch
That
effort
effort was-
should come
that was-
after you've gotten in your own goddamn car and driven down there.
Yeah.
I was literally about to reach through the computer and slap
I'm not even
when
certain
said
you
that.
know where Nick lives.
No, he doesn't.
No, I've been there once.
Up north.
I'm not certain I believe you.
I did. I was
He's
there.
up there somewhere. My hype goes to PAX Prime. I'm excited. That's at the end of August. Not sure how many of us are going to be in attendance. I know guaranteed it's going to be at least myself and Ed. So we will be, and fingers crossed, maybe the Kris Cross team over here will join us. We'll see. We'll try and get that figured out. But if not, at the very least, me and Ed will be up there playing some games, recording some podcasts, shaking some hands, meeting some people. So if you're going to be at PAX, let us know. We'd love to see you guys there. It's also kind of an anniversary for me, so I'm gonna be up there for 5 days. I just realized it's gonna be 5 days.
You're never mind.
What? Why is PAX Prime 4 days now?
Because
Why?
It was last year.
I usually want to just cut my feet off by the end of day 2.
I think Carlos is a maybe as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Carlos.
might be going to PAX Prime.
Yeah.
Really?
I think so.
How?
I feel like he's on the fence. You could talk Carlos into pretty much anything.
He's gonna hitchhike.
How is he even? Okay, maybe Carlos will be there. We'll see. Anyways, we will have at least some presence there. We hope to see some of you guys there. I've done my thank you, and I've done my hype. My sweat. What's my sweat? Dark Souls. My sweat's Dark Souls. I'm loving that game, but goddamn, that game is gonna get harder, and I'm trying to get through two of those games just prior to release of Dark Souls 3. In fact, I kind of want to try and squeeze in Dark Souls 2 before the end of the year so I can maybe cheat and get it on my top 10 games of 2015. Because it is, the HD collection did come out, or not collection, but the
HD version.
That's such a weird motivation for playing a game that didn't even come out this year.
But I missed the boat. The first, I wasn't playing Dark Souls. I hadn't played Dark Souls 1, so I didn't play 2 at the time it came out. But I kind of wish I had a chance to play that and, consider it for my top 10 to list that year, but I couldn't.
It's just weird. It's like me saying, I'm going to try to get through Majora's Mask on the 3DS so I can
cheat and put it on your top 10 list.
Put it on my top 10.
Sure.
But I don't even know if I like it.
Well, I think I like Dark Souls.
You mean Dark Souls 2?
Well, I've played, at this point, I've still played more Dark Souls 2 than 1, because I played about 11 hours of 2 before I stopped and moved on to something else. But that was purely because of other reasons. Anyways, what have I not done? My thank you? No, I did thank you. Right. My fuck you. Fuck you the week goes to this guy right here.
Why?
No, you know what? Fuck hunting for a home
in Austin.
Fuck house hunting in general.
This has been on your 4-player minute for the past 3 weeks.
Losing my mind for the past couple weeks trying to get this figured out. And
when is your lease up?
November.
Oh, so you've got to hurry.
Thanks, Kris. Yes, I do need to hurry.
I mean, you got to submit your.
I put an offer in on one today, but
he can always be chilling in a hotel until.
Oh God. Anyways, that's it for our show, guys. This week. Thank you so much for watching / listening. 4-player net. Speak up, guys. Somebody chime in. I'm really distracted here.
How's it going?
You're the host.
I know. I'm just
close it.
Close it.
Yeah.
No, don't talk
Seal the deal.
Don't talk about closing, please. I can't. I can't handle it right now.
Close.
Anyways,
the foundation's fine, Nick.
Oh, you're killing me, man. You're fucking
They
killing me.
redid it 2 years ago. It's fine.
Anyways, thank you guys for listening.
Nick looks like he's about to crack.
Fuck. 4playernetwork.com is where you can find us. And of course, you can watch us broadcast every single night over at 4pp.tv. I'll be playing more Amnesia this Friday. Woo! Should be fun.
Woo!
Woo! Exactly. And of course, we hope to see some of you guys at PAX. It's going to be a relatively small group, or potentially small group at PAX this year. But if you're there, let us know. You can tweet at us at 4Player Podcast, or you can find all of our individual Twitter accounts on the site of 4Player Network. But for now, I think that's it. We'll see you next week. Should I say who's going to be on the show next week, or potentially? Maybe?
No, just go with it.
No.
Someone will be on the show next week. Possibly. That's me going with it. Anyways, and of course, like I said, Nolan is going to be out of town until first week of August, so he will eventually return. I promise you.
One day.
But it's going to be a glorious return. You'll be like, oh my God, Nolan's back! Yay! That'd be great.
Glorious.
They're back, as in we're going to dig up his body from the backyard.
Yes, exactly.
You're
It's all smelly.
It's been fun, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.